want to thank everyone who's joined us this evening. We're still waiting for a few more people to join in as well, so we're hoping to get the meeting started and convened in just a few minutes. Okay, but thank you, everyone. We just ask for your patience as we allow other people in. Dante, I do see we have a considerable number of panelists on. Do we have a lot of people still coming in, or?
Yes, we still have people coming in. Yes.
Okay, we'll just allow a couple more minutes and then we're going to begin.
All
right. Please, I see your hand. Do you have a question? Yeah, Felice, I see your hand raised. Did you have a question or is that inadvertent?
Yeah, Felice, we cannot hear you. Yeah, can't hear you.
That's the problem, I think. She's saying that's the problem. All right, try *6 on your phone, see if it unmutes you. Well, actually, let's go back. Are you on the phone or the computer? Show one finger if you're on a phone, two if you're on a computer. On a computer. Let's see. What may help you is if you switch your audio. Do you have a phone? Can you call in? No? Okay, I see the time is now 7:10. I want to be respectful of time. We do have a full agenda this evening, so I want us for us to begin the meeting right now. Okay, so we are calling the meeting to order. The time is now 7:10 p.m. I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. My name is Fred Baptiste. I currently serve, it's my honor and privilege to serve as the chair of Committee Board 9. I want to welcome everyone for our May 2022 General Board meeting. Before we continue with the agenda, for those of you who have heard, I think we've heard about the horrific mass shooting that happened in Texas, where I've heard of at least 16 people who have died, and the count keeps going up as well. And it's really symbolic of the gun violence that's happening all across our country, and as well as we definitely know here in New York City. At this time, I would just like to ask for a brief moment of silence, recognizing those victims of gun violence in Texas and in New York and all around. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've called the meeting to order. So just very briefly, a couple of housekeeping pieces. We are going to waive the reading of the rules of conduct. The rules of conduct are available on the CB9 website. Very simply put, very succinctly, we are just asking for a civil dialogue here. This is the opportunity for the place for us to convene as a community and as a board to exchange ideas, to develop solutions in the best interests of our district. We will not always agree, but we always want to make sure that our conversation is civil and we are respectful of each other, because that is what we are trying to promote here in our community district. For those of you who have joined by phone, if you at the appropriate times would like to speak or be recognized, please use the *3 function. That is the raised hand function. Again, *3 allows you to raise your hand, at which point the district office team will be able to see you in the attendees section and promote you into the panel, so that way you'll be able to address the board at the appropriate times. All right, so again, *3 is a toggle. *3 raises your hand. Same function also lowers your hand. We would also ask, if you are on the phone and if you are speaking or not speaking, to please make sure that your phones are muted or your sound systems are muted. For those board members, please use the mute function that is on your panel on WebEx. If you are on the phone, again, the *6 function will serve as the mute and unmute button. And again, so if you are promoted to panelist, at the appropriate time, you will hear an audio prompt asking you to unmute your phone. That will be when you'll press *6 and you'll be able to speak at that time. And again, if you are not speaking, please use the *6 function to keep yourself muted. With that, we are now going to move on to item 2 in the public session, applications to the New York State Liquor Authority. Do we have the chair of public safety with us?
We do. I'm sorry, I'm not here. Let me just get out my earpods here.
No problem. Vermin, thank you very much. At this time, we'll turn the floor over to you. Would you please introduce the 2 applicants for CB9 this evening?
All right, so sure. I just want to quickly, Brad, before I start, I see some of the residents, where one of the applicants are located. Are we going to give them an opportunity to speak, or are we going to do that later? I just want to be clear on the process now. So before I open it up, just.
We will allow just for 2 questions during the public session. If there are residents who wish to speak directly to the application, they will also have an opportunity to do that during the public commentary as well. Okay.
All right, so we have with us 510 Flatbush Avenue, which is called Gianamaya. Originally it came to our attention, some members of some residents in the apartment building where the establishment was located, had some concerns about noise, and we had multiple meetings in the public safety department, and with the public safety committee, and we made multiple visits to the location. And Gianamaya put in approximately, I think it's between $40,000 and $50,000 to deal with the noise, and they also have a sound system where it cannot go above the legal sound. I'd like for a moment, our district manager went with me to the establishment if he could address what he saw for a minute at the establishment. And before I do that, they're here to ask us to amend their license to include dancing. Currently, they're not allowed to dance. They'd like to include dancing. Dante, tell us what you saw at the establishments.
Yes, so I believe it was the sound engineer for the establishment who showed us how the technology works to cap the sound, most specifically, I think the bass in the establishment. So the location has definitely put in their work in terms of trying to curb the sound going into the apartments above. I know that the work isn't finished. They still have some other panels in the back room that still needed to be installed. So even even now they put in all this work, they're still continuing to make sure that those panels go up and that the residents feel that their concerns were heard. And so I think that they did I would say that it was a fine display of trying to one, hearing the concerns of the residents, but also taking the true measures of getting the sound equipment, the things of that nature to cap the sound. And it's actually extremely impressive technology. Even if the DJ keeps turning the knob to increase the sound, the way that the algorithm is set up is that it caps it below the legal limit. And so I went there with the rabbi, and I think that we both can say that they definitely put in their work to to mitigate the sound measures there.
Thank you. Is there a representative from Guyana Mayo this evening?
Seconds, tell us.
Yes.
Andrew Golden.
How's it going? Well,
Thank God. 60 seconds, Andrew. Keep it to 60. I just want to say that I think this is a example of the community coming together and working together. When Andrew and the building came before us, there was a lot of anger and frustration. And I think that even though we may not agree totally, there was a communication and even a little friendship going on. But Andrew, go ahead. 60 seconds. Tell us about your establishment and what you're asking us to do.
yes, my name's Andrew Golden, and yes, we have a restaurant, cafe, we have live music, we have a wellness center, and for us, all we're asking is to be able to have the patrons, if they come for a live music show or they come when there's music happening, that if they want to dance, that they can dance, and we're not gonna tackle them or stop them or tell them that they're not allowed to. In terms of that, that's really the only thing that we're asking for. I mean, everything else we already have on our license, and we're doing up to code. We've really heard the voices of the residents. I've been speaking to a bunch of different people in the building, and I've gotten super positive feedback about the sound getting much better, about the space really providing a lot of positive services to the building and to the neighborhood in terms of daily wellness, really good organic healthy food, with our cafe, with having a place for people to really come together and connect and not be sad anymore after all the isolation we've all had. And we really like went outside of our budget and even our means just to make sure that we can do everything possible to keep the sound as contained and as legal as we can within our space, so that we can do everything as our business and not destroy neighbors' lives or keep people up all night. It's never been our intention, and we're here to connect and we're here to be friends. So we're going to continue to work on it, even though we're at the legal limit. You can always improve. So we're here to work together and we're here to grow.
All right. I think, are there any comments or questions from the community or from the tenants?
We can take two questions. We have a pretty packed agenda, so we have a number of things. We can take two questions.
I think we should call on the residents, if any residents that want to comment. Would you see if or does anybody have their hand raised?
Yeah, it looks like four. I believe that they're residents because they all four raised their hands simultaneously. We have four people with their hands raised. I do know that Dustin had called and signed up for public comment, so I would say that we should probably go ahead and let him go. Mia, are you aware if any of the other individuals who raised their hand signed up for public comment?
Sure. Dustin signed up, Nixon signed up, and Angeline signed up.
Okay. Well, I would ask this. If you signed up for public commentary, you'll have an opportunity during public comment. So if you would defer, then you will get 3 full minutes to do that there. So if you could defer that, so if there's people who have questions right now who are not going to be doing public commentary, we'll take those. I do see Rachel Planis, and I thank you for everyone for your cooperation on that one. We'll take Rachel's question. If you could please promote her.
All right. All right, Rachel should be able to.
Hello.
Yes, hello, we can hear you.
Hi. So I live on 510 Flatbush, apartment 2G. So I'm on the second floor, almost directly above from the wellness center. I agree that the noise has been largely mitigated from the music. My question is really about any additional security measures to contain the noise outside of the building. As a second floor resident, the folks meandering out on the sidewalk, or the spillover from that when the events end is really disruptive. And that is probably my biggest concern at this point, is just what is the business doing to make sure that those of us who are on the lower floors are minimally disrupted by the folks who are either outside smoking or waiting for Ubers or continuing to party outside after the event. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
I think Andrew would respond.
Yes. So for us, in terms of patrons being outside, I mean, when we have bigger events with more people and it's more possible for it to be more people outside, what we've been doing is, first off, we limit now to maximum 10 people that can be outside, and we even have them go across the street or down the street. Sometimes it's impossible if a patron doesn't want to listen and they walk 2 feet down the street to smoke their cigarette. I mean, there's nothing legally that we can do. We can just make sure that they're not doing it right in front of the space. But we do limit people. We do have security outside. And we even our outdoor area, that covers the space. We're actually going to be adding a lot of moss and sound absorbing material, so that the voices when people are standing outside, because we have also a restaurant, we have an outdoor area, and it's the summertime, so people want to be outside. We are adding actually more soundproofing to that and more absorption. So we're hoping that's going to make a big difference as well. And also just making sure that our security team is really on top of people once they're leaving an event to actually leave, take the Uber, and not hang out outside. We're definitely conscious about that. I appreciate you bringing that up, and we're going to continue to work on that with our security team.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dante, Mia, Khalid, do you see anybody else with a question? We can take one more, just one.
No, I don't see, I believe that I see Kyrie Laney's hand is raised. I'm not sure if that's particular to the applicant. The other individuals deferred to public comment.
Very well, thank you for that. Kyrie, if it's possible, can you defer your question to the business session? All the board members will have an opportunity to ask questions at that point.
Of course. Well, good afternoon. So from the start of the meeting at 7, my hand has been up this whole time. I received 2 text messages and emails. There are some members that are having difficulties logging in and through the links. I was one, but I was managed to get in, and they're sending messages asking if you all could please resend out the link to everyone so that they can log in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kyrie. Yes, so Dante team, if you could take care of that, just resend the link to the board members who might be having issues. Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, Mr. Goldman, thank you very much. So we will be considering your application during the business session. If it's possible, if I could ask as well, you don't have to, but if it's possible, if you could stay in case any of the board members have any additional questions at that time.
No problem. I'll be here.
Thank you very much. All right, Rabbi Berman, I'm sorry, go ahead. The floor is yours again.
Yeah, so I think it was Katie's Soul Food is the other application that's before us.
Yes, that's correct.
And what can you remind me what that application is? It's a full.
Application for liquor, wine, beer, and cider. Yes.
And we voted unanimously to support their application. That I remember we had quorum. I just want to say, I want to ask all board members and committee members, if you could please read the minutes. Where Mia does a great job. We have great minutes of our meetings and a lot of information there within the minutes. If you could please look at those minutes if you're interested to know what's going on public safety and other public safety initiatives in the community. Is the owner of the establishment here?
If you're here with Katie O's Soul Food, please raise your hand so that way the district team can promote you into the panel. Okay, you can use the raise hand function if you're on the WebEx, or *3 if you are on here by phone. Okay, going once, going twice. Oh, hold on. I see a hand went up, calling user.
Should be able to. Okay.
Okay, if you're a representative of Katie O's Soul Food, you may address the board at this time. Tell us a little bit about your establishment.
Caller's unmuted, so they should be able to speak.
Okay, you just, calling user, you just muted yourself. If you hit *6, that should unmute you. Okay, looks like they're having issues. They're not going to be able to speak at this point. Okay, Rabbi Berman, so for the liquor, wine, beer, and cider license, your committee already reviewed the application and your committee voted to recommend for approval?
Yes, it's all in the minutes. Yes.
Okay, very well. So at this time, we're going to move on. The application will be discussed by the board in the business session. Okay, we are now going to move on to the public commentary period. Public commentary period is for exactly 30 minutes. All those members of the community who wish to speak to the board, you are permitted 3 minutes to speak. We will allow speakers until we have exhausted the 30-minute time period. If you wish to speak before the board, please use the raise hand function to identify yourself, and you'll be promoted in the order that we see you as well. Okay, Dante, who did we have who had signed in previously?
Yeah, okay, so we had Dustin Eldridge, let's see. Let me go back. Let's see. Angeline Nitzen. Is there anyone else? So those individuals were the 3 that were going to speak earlier. So that's the. And then also for public comment, we also add Arna.
Arna?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And if he's still here, there was an individual from the CCRB who was on.
Jackie Rose.
Okay, perfect. Yes.
And Jackie Rose? Okay. All right then. Okay, so we'll begin the list with that and we'll continue on. All right, so the first person we have on the list is Mr. Etheridge. Could you promote him? And Mr. Etheridge, you'll have the floor.
You guys got me? Cool.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to address the community board. My name is Dustin Etheridge. I am a tenant at 510 Flatbush. I've been here about 3 years, and I'm no stranger to the Public Safety Committee, and I'm no stranger to the owners of Gaia Namaya. I just want to say, when this process all started in August of last year, it's been a roller coaster, and we have gotten to a place, and I want to be very clear that I'm speaking specifically for my family, my experience in this building, and in my unit. I know that my experience has been different than some of my neighbors. When this process all started, there was a lot of back and forth, and there was a lot of meetings with the NYPD and sound readings and this like that, and there was been a significant amount of tension that's been going on in the building. That, for the most part, for us up here on the 8th floor, has been alleviated. I don't know what they've done down there. I don't know if the events that they've been holding the last couple of months, where they've been preparing these, have been on the same level as some of the other events that they've gone on. But what I can tell you is, when they've had all nights events down there, we haven't really heard anything up here. My kids haven't been woken up. My interactions in my relationship with the Golden Brothers has dramatically improved. I think probably as a result of me not calling 311 about the noise. But it really, for us, it's gotten better. My only suggestion for this process, like going forward, if you guys decide to do this with them, would be just, maybe a handful of assurances for the tenants. That we would maybe get a heads up if something's going to be going on downstairs till 4 o'clock in the morning. If that's a community, if that's a bulletin board or something that's put up by the mailroom or something like that, just so we're not, whether we're coming home or, we get up in the middle of the night, or you taking laundry down or something, and you hear that stuff. I think it would probably take a little bit of the sting off if we had kind of a heads up, and we knew what was going to be going on. I do think, I live here. This is my home, so I'm always going to be in favor of telling people to go down the street to smoke. Our experience has gotten dramatically better. It has gotten dramatically better. Andrew, this is me telling you in front of all these people, you guys have gotten better. Our interactions have gone from, I think, teeth gritting to we've kind of found a common place here. There was an event a few weeks ago where something went up on the building. I know that you are in the courtyard on the 2nd floor. That was the first time I had ever noticed, like, patrons of the business using some of the common space and some of the residential space there. But you and I texted about that, and you said, that those guys were supervised, and it was in the middle of the day, so it wasn't like it was going on in the middle of the night or anything. But I know that I'd had some conversations with folks about that. This is my 2 cents, right? The last meeting we had, I said, nobody wants to live this way. Nobody wants to live with the noise. Nobody wants to live with the tension. I got a 6-month-old baby and a 6-year-old. Like, that music was waking them up, and it hasn't been lately. I know you guys have had events that go on till 4 in the morning. I don't know that they've been.
I'm sorry, Mr. Etheridge, but the time is running out, so I need you to conclude.
In short, they've gotten better. If you guys want to approve this for them, give us some assurances that, we're still going to have a voice in the process. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Etheridge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the speakers list, I have Angeline. Would you please promote Angeline to the panel?
All right. Angeline should be able to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to share my experience. First, I want to say I echo what Dustin said. It has been a very long journey in this process. And I'm happy to hear that he's getting some relief up there on the 8th floor. I live on the 2nd floor, directly above the establishment. And I wish I could say that it has been completely resolved for me, but it hasn't. And I know they've been working hard and making a lot of improvements. And it could just be the location of the apartment. I feel as though I'm resting well up until a certain point in the evening when they've had their last two events. The most recent one, I think, involves some drumming. And I usually get woken up somewhere after 12 or 1, and then I'm up until it's over because at that point, it's just hard to go back to sleep. I know they still have some more work to do, but the more I've thought about it is the more I'm thinking maybe this is an apartment that shouldn't be online for the building because I don't know if it's going to be able to be like 100% resolved because I'm not sure what else they have to do. And again, I want to commend them for making the improvements they've made, but I'm still suffering with this issue. And I don't want to have to call 311 about it, but it's been quite challenging because sometimes it's in the middle of the week and I have to go to work and I get up at 4:30 and I'm up until whenever the event ends, which is either 3 or 4 or a little after. So I don't know if it's possible to move me to another apartment. I teach and my school year is ending, but I'm very concerned that I'm never going to have the relief that I need to be able to sleep well throughout the night when they have their events. I've moved my bed from one side of the apartment to the other. I live in a studio, and that doesn't seem to resolve the issue. So that's why I'm saying that because this apartment is directly above the establishment, maybe this is just not an apartment that should be rented out because I don't know if they're going to be able to fix the issue to the point where it's not a disturbance at some point. And I didn't know this was going to be the case before I moved in here. If I did, I would have, inquired about other spots in the building, but this is the situation. And so I would like to see them prosper and have their business, but I would also like to sleep through the night when they're having, excuse me, their events. I'm also concerned about the security issue because we don't have a security guard on the 510 side that's here on the same schedule like on the 33 Lincoln side. And I know they said they have security, but I'm still concerned about people, wandering into the building. And they do linger outside and it is noisy.
Time.
Okay. So basically those are my concerns. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your commentary. Okay, next on the speakers list, I have Nitsan Gabai, and I apologize if I butcher anybody's names.
All right. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Ms. Baptiste and the rest of the community board to speak. So unlike the other tenants that have spoken, my journey is a rather short one. I moved into the unit on the third floor about a month ago, less than a month ago. And my experience with Guyana Maya has mostly been through one event that I think Angelina's been referring to that happened on May 19th, which was a Thursday night going into Friday. And the event was technically not organized by Guyana Maya. They were essentially hosting the space for a different production company that was doing an event there. And so there was participation there with drums, and there were people that were going in and out regularly in celebration of the Jewish holiday of Lag BaOmer. And while that was all nice and dandy with the base management, and I believe the other tenants when they say that it's improved dramatically from what it was a few months ago, the issue still stands on what will have to be done with patrons that frequent this business. And we have to call a spade as a spade. The permission that is being potentially granted here to Guyana Maya turns them in effect to a nightclub to provide patrons the ability to dance and for staff to dance. It effectively creates this business as a nightclub. I have read a bit on the history of the Golden Brothers' other ventures under the brand of Sonic Jungle and how they were having issues approving some of their other events that were slated inside the space of 510, not on the street level, on other levels. And it is a bit of a stretch to me to see how, you know, a mixed use space that was designated to be a medical office, you know, is under the umbrella of a wellness center, but that now goes to the extent of having to support patrons dancing. And while I don't want to be a stick in the wheel of the business progressing and flourishing, and I really wish them the best, and I want to come and frequent it at some point when the time is right, I would want to ensure that they give the proper education and enforcement to the patrons on what it is to respect the neighbors, the community, and if we are in the, you know, vein of wellness and holistic care, to respect the inner peace of the people that are living very close by, that are on the same grounds, that you know, in a lot of ways allow this business to keep growing and flourish. And that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, so at this time, we will now recognize Arna.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I hope everyone's well. Happy spring. Tonight, for those of you who may not know, I would like to share with you that I have moved on from my role at the New York City Council to a new initiative called Connect. This program, which started in January, is an extension of one of the more well-known mental health clinics in the neighborhood called Interborough Consultation and Development Center, or IDCC for short. My role as community liaison is to assess community priority needs and engage and network with the community-based organizations and individuals to share our mission. I found that a lot of what I have done in the council has been a great stepping stone for this timely opportunity, of which the catch basin is primarily here in Crown Heights. So I'm really excited about that. Since COVID-19, I found we are speaking more and more openly about mental health issues, but many of us don't really speak about how to help those who come to us with these issues and other related concerns. As this is Mental Health Awareness Month, I would just like to take a few minutes to share with you a little bit about our program. With Connect IDCC, we have several enhancement services to ensure clients are being treated holistically with what you might call wraparound services. Note, you do not have to have a mental health diagnosis to qualify for our program. It is open to anyone 18 and over, and you do not have to have insurance when you walk in, but we will try to assist you with this process if you'd like. To start with, we have a health coach. He can assist with a number of health-related issues or medical conditions. In the sense of management, he provides healthcare support and connects clients to PC providers as well as specialists. He can also schedule appointments and, if need be, accompany clients to appointments, as well as interfacing with the insurance. How many times have we called up, tried calling our insurance, not gotten through, or gotten the runaround? This is something our health coach can do very easily in navigating the system, which is really takes off a lot of stress. He also can help set up routines and schedules for medication management, which can be helpful for people who are taking multiple medications at once, several times a day. And some of these medications can be contraindicated. So our health coach is very experienced with that and can be really an asset. In addition, we have a vocational counselor who guides clients towards educational and career programming or just jobs that are currently open. We have a community engagement specialist whose focus is on benefit support services, who can help people navigate applications and interface with the agencies to follow up and resolve their application. She as well can accompany clients to appointments for fair hearings and things like that. We will soon be hiring some therapists and peer specialists who also accompany clients to different appointments. And bottom line, the point of all these services is to enhance mental health service by giving a more holistic approach. The other thing is that when you think about mental health, you think about sometimes there are more serious mental health illness, such as schizophrenia, psychosis, or bipolar. There is a sister agency called LSA that is affiliated with Interborough IDCC, and they are actually right here in the neighborhood. They have a new site on Utica and Eastern Parkway. I should say they're not very new, but they're not very well known. So we will be working closely with them. They can help with drug addiction, recovery, and also mental illness, different programming. So for the next couple months, I will be continuing to reach out, as I already have, to the board, and telling you more about our program, and also trying to assess from you what are the top priority needs in the community. I'm going to put my information in the chat so that you can reach out to me if you have any questions. And I look forward to interfacing with you and seeing you at community events. Please feel free to share your events so that we can participate and collaborate. I wish you all the best, a happy spring, and please feel free to reach out to me. Have a great night. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Ronna. I don't think we have the chat set up right now, but please, as always, share your information with the board, and we will definitely make sure it's available to all the residents of the district as well, and we can make sure we put it on our community, our weekly community class.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you for you too. Okay, next on the speakers list, I have Jackie Rose.
Hello, this is Jahai Rose from the CCRB.
My apologies.
No problem. So I'm the Director of Outreach for the Civilian Complaint Review Board. As many may know, the CCRB is a city agency. Our responsibility is to investigate, mediate, and in some cases, administratively prosecute allegations of police misconduct. My responsibility is to ensure that members of the City of New York or residents of the City of New York get that information. So if you do have a negative encounter, or if an individual has a negative encounter with a police officer, notify you of what our agency is here to do. Our investigations are non-biased and impartial. Make sure the officer gets a fair shake, just as well as the civilian that filed the complaint. And then we make honest recommendations regarding how officers should be disciplined in the event misconduct has been founded. We are back to doing our board meetings in person. So those board meetings will be happening at 100 Church Street at 4 o'clock until further notice. They also happen virtually. So if you don't want to come into the office physically, that's fine. Feel free to view it. We use WebEx just like the community board does. Every month we will be emailing, or we have been emailing the community board regarding our meetings. Please just share that with the community, and they'll have an ability to join the conversation about police accountability and give their input and provide us with some feedback. Lastly, the CCRB is also trying to find very creative ways to do outreach to members of the public. We do presentations at meetings like this, educational institutions, after school programs, LGBTQIA+ programs. We do tabling, and we do what's called the barbershop and salon tours, where we will go to barbershops and salons, have this conversation while people are getting their hair done or getting their hair cut. We also do what's called CCRB Courtside, where we will come to a local recreational area, such as a basketball court, handball court, football field, do presentations for teams. It's a means of meeting people where they're at. We also have an initiative called CCRB Block by Block, where we will canvass neighborhoods with credible messengers and credible organizations to provide this information about police accountability and oversight. So if any one of those things is something that you're interested in, I will leave my contact information with the community board. We follow the community's lead regarding where to go and who we need to be speaking with. If you think there's somewhere where the CCRB should be to provide this information, do not hesitate. Please give me a call. I take calls on my cell phone and text messages on my cell phones about leads, and I have a 4-person staff that'll be willing to go to anywhere to do these presentations 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. So thank you all very much for allowing me to speak, and have a wonderful rest of your meeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rose, for joining us this evening, and definitely we'll make sure we have your information on file, and we'll be willing to share it as well, and help identify places for you to do additional workshops if anything. But thank you very much for joining us. Okay, Dante, I've exhausted the list. Do we have anybody else who's raised their hands for public commentary?
Yes, I see phone number starting in 347-992. I also see Jeremy Lockett, representative from Councilmember Crystal Hudson's office. And then I also see Morenike Lambert from the attendees.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's go with caller. If you could promote the caller, please. The phone number.
They should be able to unmute. That person is unmuted, so they should be able to. Yeah, whoever that caller is, we can't hear them.
I think that is the other SLA applicant that was having technical difficulties for KDOs. Yeah.
Okay. Understood. Okay, so let's move on then. Okay, so next we have Jeremy Lockett.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Jeremy Lockett here from Councilmember Crystal Hudson's office. She apologizes for not being here. She'll definitely be making time next month at both of the meetings, I believe, that I'm here. Just real quick, one, hope everyone's doing well, and thank you earlier for doing the moment of silence for the families and the young folks that are affected by the shooting in Texas. We are definitely going to be speaking more about that, and I know that some people on the call here have been working with our office and in other entities within Brooklyn, whether it's law enforcement, community organizers, advocates, and folks from the community. We're trying to do our best, and we're going to be working with this topic. So I just wanted to say that. A couple of updates on our end. Starting tomorrow, every Wednesday, we will have a representative from CUF speaking on and working with folks specifically about housing issues. So that could be landlord, tenant, that could be a dispute with a fellow tenant, it could be really anything particular, especially when it comes to the legal matter. It's going to be in person every Wednesday. The individual is in our office from 12 to 6:30. If anybody needs an accommodation, whether that's after those hours or something different, definitely want to work with that. We've been sending some information to Community Board 9 regarding that, so we appreciate pushing that information out. But if you can't make it in person starting tomorrow, also tomorrow night, we will be having a virtual housing workshop with Take Root. So I'll send that again off to you all to share. That would be huge. And one last thing, we've been doing these coffee with crystals, this opportunity to meet with the council member, sit down, have a cup of coffee, have breakfast. And we've been sort of learning from folks, maybe it doesn't fit their schedule or they can't make it due to other logistics. But we want to be able to, have folks, whether you want to volunteer, participate with us, give us feedback in person. We are very open to that. And we do want folks to, or I would like folks to sort of create more of a structure to sign up and volunteer and have, whether you have a particular expertise or passion for something, we'd like to keep that in our back pocket. The folks in the community, we keep it going. So that's sort of our initiative on that. So I was going to say I'll put my information in the chat, but I know that there's no chat right now. But if anyone needs to reach out to me, I know that Community Board 9, Dante, Fred has my information. But if, I'll read off my number right now. If anyone wants to reach out directly, I'm always available. 646-771-5575. Again, 646-771-5575. And I'll be on this meeting for a little bit more, but I have to hop off. But again, it's good being here. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much, Sharon. And again, so Jeremy's information, he just gave his phone number, but he is also reachable if you contact the district office. All right, just because we are getting ready to end, I see some hands up, and I see they are representatives of offices. I would like to take Morenike Lambert. So we'll see Morenike Lambert, and I believe she will probably end up concluding the public commentary, and then we're going to go on to the acknowledgments with the public officials and the representatives. Okay? So Ms. Lambert, I'm sorry, you have the floor now.
Greetings and good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight representing Borough Hall. Today, I give you greetings from Borough President Antonio Reynoso, Director of Community Boards, Carolyn.
Oh, Ms. Lambert, I'm sorry, your audio is breaking up.
Now?
Like I heard a quick one is breaking up. Breaking up.
I'm not sure why that's happening. It was working earlier today.
That's good.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah, that's good.
It's just a little Mercury retrograde. So I just wanted to say thank you all, and everyone brings you greetings. We want to just give you what's happening here at Borough Hall. Maternal Health Task Force, because we know there's such the maternal death rate in our communities. So the borough president has created a task force that will inform our programming and our policy positions that will ultimately help to close the crisis level disparities around Black maternal health.
I'm sorry, you cut out again. Unfortunately, yeah, you cut out again.
Oh, I'm not sure why. Okay, well, my number, can you all hear me now? I'm gonna give my number, so if you need to reach out to me at 718-802-3981. And Carol Ann will be on the next meeting to herself to the new members. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lambert. And, sorry about the audio issues, but thank you very much for coming this evening. Okay. All right. I see the time is now 7:57, and that concludes our public commentary portion.
Excuse me, Fred, it's Warren.
Yes, Warren.
I just wanted to ask Miss Lambert why we haven't seen or heard from the new Brooklyn Borough president.
All right, Warren, we can't actually do the question and answer.
I'm not, you shouldn't answer. That's
I
fine with
understand,
me.
but Warren, we're not doing questions and answers right now. We can do that separately. We have to move the agenda. So right now, we're going to move into the acknowledgements portion. So we will have commentary from the elected officials who are here and their representatives.
Okay, just let me know when it's appropriate to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. All right, so we are now entering into the acknowledgements portion of the agenda. So for our elected officials, if you are here this evening, we welcome you. Thank you very much for joining us. Because we do have a tight agenda, so we allow, we definitely allow 2 minutes for our elected officials to address the board. If you are a representative of an elected official, we please ask that you bid your greetings and you limit, keep the highlight reel to about a minute or so. Okay. Now, I do see we do have our assembly member from the 57th district, if I remember correctly. Assembly member Sufran Forrest, so you still there?
Yeah, she's still on.
Assembly member Forrest, you still there?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if I heard it. Oh, hello. Good evening, all. Thank you, Chair Baptiste, for presiding over this illustrious meeting here. Okay, so I just wanted to come out and give you some updates. First of all, I'm in Albany tonight. Usually you'll meet with my district manager, Justin, but hey, I'm filling in for tonight. All right, so as far as announcements goes, the Assembly has passed 2 of my bills. One of them being guaranteeing that that Medicaid pays for neonatal NIPT. Newborn. I forget the acronym now. I'm a nurse. This is a shame. But basically a test to test if your child has congenital abnormalities. When I remember the name, the actual, it's not fetal testing. It's my colleague is here is trying to help me out. But so NIPT passed, so now you are guaranteed. Well, when the governor signs it, you are supposed to be guaranteed for Medicaid to pay for the test, and it's not at the discretion of your insurance. So that's one. And then 2, the second bill that we passed was for DOH to collect data on adult care facilities. What we find is that it's hard to say that a adult care facility such as nursing homes are doing bad things to people because you can't see who is in the adult care facilities. So what we are tasking DOH to do now is collect data on demographics. So to see what color the people are, what their income level, because I know, a lot of people know that nursing homes and adult care facilities are abusing patients based on their race and economic status. But if we don't have the data, then we cannot pinpoint them. So boom, it's great. I'm excited to say that we are one step closer to having nursing homes and adult care facilities be more accountable to the people that they're serving. So that's exciting for me. Also, just a report back, we had a town hall on less is more, an important piece of legislation tackling technical violations that send parolees back to prison. And so just to educate the people on the real, on the facts of the bill and what it does and what it does not do, and to empower people to feel like we did a right thing by passing less is more. I do see that there is opposition. There is an oppositional bill creeping up right now, but don't worry about it. I see it. I'm going to squish it because we did a good thing by stepping up for people who are incarcerated and telling them that they deserve to be in the community. So that happened, that town hall happened. And then also I want to announce that tomorrow we have a mental health awareness day. We are inviting Dr. Best. We are inviting people, one of the therapists from Rainbow Heights, a wonderful group that's been doing work with LGBTQ communities and the general population. And we also invited someone from a gun violence organization, but to come to talk to us about the importance of mental health in our communities, because that is the hot ticket word. We need therapists in our schools. We need mental health to be covered by our insurances, but we need our people to be screaming out about it. And this is what this awareness day is about. So that's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Please, if you have more questions about this and any other events that we are holding, please call the office at 718-596-0100. We have someone in the office basically every day. I look forward to seeing you in person one of these days. But again, I'm very, very happy to be here. Also, hot topic is mayoral control. So if you have any points about mayoral control and your kids in these schools, I know that the chancellor likes to use mayoral accountability, but from what I'm hearing, it sounds like mayoral control. If you would like to hear more about the propositions that are being said, I'd love to talk about it. If you want to have more of a deeper presentation, let me know. My office would love to present on it. Again, call us and we'll let you know. Thank you, Chair, for this time, and everyone have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Assemblymember Forrest. Okay. We also have with us this evening, I see Mr. Raul Rothblatt with the 43rd Assembly District.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all of your hard work. As usual, our constituent hours are all the time. Please contact us. We're very busy helping constituents. But I've said that before. I want to talk about some of our events. I'm going to try to keep it short. We have our Women of Distinction event coming up on Thursday night. We have some great honorees, and including Arna, who spoke earlier. So we're very excited about that. That's going to be at the Children's Museum, and it's free, but you have to register quickly. So check out our Facebook page. We have a okay, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to just plow forward here. We also have a shredding event at our district office in cooperation with Councilmember Rita Joseph. So that will be 1 p.m. at 330 Empire Boulevard, right near Nostrand. And we are planning our Juneteenth event. So we're going to do something starting at the Flatbush African Burial Ground, heading to the Parkside Plaza. So that is a very exciting event. I'm very, and I would love to get people involved in that. I want to say we've been very busy on the legislative front as well. The council member has been in office for less than 2 months. He's co-sponsored 33 pieces of legislation and prime sponsored, I think it's 7 here. 2 I want to pay attention to. One that I am very excited about is the African American History Bill. And so we can do a much better job talking about the contributions of African Americans and other neglected groups in our curriculum. So I'm very excited that is going through. And another bill, the first bill that's been passed by the Assembly, regards with environmental racism to study the urban heat effect on disadvantaged communities. And let's see, I think, and then the one last thing is actually not about our office, but I do want to spread the word. There are vacancies for CEC 17. So if you know any parent activists, we could use more people to get involved in the CEC. This is another group that does really amazing work supporting our kids, but they have some vacancies there. So stay tuned for that. We'll also post that on our Facebook page as well soon, probably coming out on our Friday e-blast. So please stay in touch. I hope the community board shares our information, and thanks again for all of your hard work. And that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rothblatt. Hey, listen, just send it over and we'll send it right back out to the network. And please give our best regards to the Assembly member. Okay, at this time we will see, I see Taekwon Coleman with Councilmember Rita Joseph's office. Mr. Coleman, you there? I thought I saw Mr.
Taekwon, you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. So there might be an issue with your audio. Yeah, we still can't hear you.
Almost had it. I'll tell you, while he figures that out, let's move on. We'll come back to you, Mr. Coleman. Promise. I see Portia Edwards.
Can you hear me? Is my unmute on?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Hello, good evening. This is Portia Edwards. I am the district director for State Senator Murray. Please excuse all the noise around me. Just wanted to bring greetings from State Senator Murray, who's currently in Albany at the moment, fighting for some crucial bills to get passed this week and next week being the last week of session. The senator will be on the last board meeting just to bring greetings and to make sure he can bring in a holistic update of bills that we've passed this year, which have been tremendous, but also very hard fought. So just keep a lookout for that. We will be doing a Father's Day and Juneteenth event
on the 17th, I believe the 17th is the Saturday before Father's Day. I will send over the information to Dante so that you guys can post inside of the community board bulletin. However, the office is open from 10 to 6, Monday through Thursday. The office is closed to constituents on Fridays as we have our staff meetings. The number is 718-284-4700. And if you would like to make an appointment to just for, to have constituent services for yourself, you can just call the number to make an appointment. We also have COVID-19 tests available for individual persons and families, and we have boxes available for organizations. So please just contact our office so that we can get you over some COVID tests, as we have a lot. Thank you guys so much for your time. I will not be on for the rest of the meeting, but if anybody has any questions or concerns, you have my number, my cell. I'll give you my email address. It's pEdwards@nysenate.gov. I believe Dante and Mia and most of the board has my email address. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to email me. And if you would like to come on over and get some tests, still email me. We'll set up a date for you to be able to do that. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great rest of the meeting.
Thank you very much, Ms. Edwards. Okay, so let's try, Mr. Coleman, are you good? Is your audio fixed? All right, it looks like, I'm not sure if you're on the phone or on the, if you're on the phone, try *6, that may unmute you. Yeah, it looks like Mr. Coleman is still having issues. Okay, unfortunately, we'll need to move on with Mr. Coleman. We thank you. We recognize that you are definitely here with us this evening. We thank you for coming, and please make sure you give our best regards to Councilmember Rita Joseph as well. And if there are any announcements, please feel free to send those to the board, and we will make sure we relay those to the community as part of our weekly communications.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. Yes, we got you.
Okay. Hi. So, sorry about that. I'm at 2:50, and apparently the computer doesn't want to be my friend today. But I just want to echo what the Assembly Member's Office said. We're having a shred-a-thon at the Assembly Member's Office in collaboration with the Assembly Member and the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. As always, you can reach out to us 5 days a week. So our district office number is 718-287-8762, and my direct number is 929-496-6341. I can also be reached by email, tcoleman@council.nyc.gov. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coleman. Okay, and with that, Dante, are there any more well, I see actually Mr. Slavin. I see Mr. Slavin.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. So we have our website. There's a lot of stuff happening in DC. The Congresswoman Yvette Clarke is in DC, and our website is clark.house.gov. You can ask through that website, get answered through the website. We're very busy with immigration. We're busy with passports. We're very busy with IRS issues, the rebates, SBA loans. We are open for business. Our number is 718-287-1142. Please reach out to us. I also want to wish you all a great evening. And again, I don't want to keep you longer than I need to. And as I said before, I keep on telling our website, there's a lot of information over there so that I don't just keep you on the call. So it's clark.house.gov. Hopefully next month we will try to have the Congresswoman be in the district and try to join us. So I'm working with your people on the board. Thank you again.
Thank you so very much for that. Okay, Dante, team, are there any more representatives that I missed?
I don't recognize any that were missed. This hand is still raised. I don't know who this person.
There's the office of Councilmember Darlene Mealy also there.
That was Ms. Lipkin. She spoke already.
Okay. Yeah, other than that hand.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry that I am representing Project Connect. I believe I did hear someone, Michael from the office of Councilmember Mealy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize there's someone here. Okay, yes, my apologies. So the representative from the office of Councilmember Mealy.
Hello, are you still there?
Okay, I'm not hearing anything. Okay, well, listen, at this point, we'll need to move on, but we'll recognize that there was a representative here. Okay, so with that, that will conclude the public session. I want to thank all those members of the community who've given commentary this evening. I also want to thank those the assembly member and all the other representatives from the different offices as well for coming and addressing the board this evening. We are now going to move on to our business session. Is the secretary present?
Mr. Chair, yes.
Okay, Ms. Watson-Lord, will you do us the honors? Would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Minute, burn it up. Kyrie Aline,
Here, present.
Nicholas Almanar,
Present.
Mr. Stuart Balberg,
Absent, excused.
okay. Trey Baptiste,
Present.
Naomi Baptiste.
Naomi Baptiste is present.
Thank you. Mr. John Beckers Jr. Rabbi Yaakov Berman. Warren Burke.
Present.
Augustine Blackwell.
Here.
Thank you. Suki Chow.
Here.
Thank you. Verlene Dozier.
Present. From the Rebbe that says it's Erev Rosh Hashanah, and it says
Rosemary Evering.
How dear the
Rosemary
body is
Evering.
to Hashem.
Rosemary Evering. Tessa Hackett Veer.
Here.
Bishop Sylvetta Hamilton Gonzalez.
Here.
Sloman Eck. Primo Lozano.
Absent, excused.
Okay, hold 1 minute. Good. Mena Legote.
Present.
Thank you. Francisco Leopold.
Here.
Thanks. Melanie Lewis.
Present.
Thank you. Matthias Leinberg.
Here.
Christian Lubo.
Present.
Anakin Margolin. Carmen Martinez.
Here.
Thank you. Vivian Morgan.
Here.
Miss Patricia Moses.
Here.
Thank you. Beverly Newsom.
This is Yanela. Beverly asked to be excused.
Thank you. Yankee Pearson. Riley's Prayer Bones. Yunala Rome Perry.
Here.
Thank you. Dr. Dexter Roberts.
Present.
Thank you. Felice Robertson.
I am mute. Oh, yeah. Present.
Thank you. Mary Rollerson Blackett. Melissa Sevier. Rashida Sadiq.
Here.
Rashida Skypes. Rabbi Sperling. Debbie Timothy.
Present.
Thank you. Myself is here. Is Evelyn Williams? Lorraine Woodsley? Larianne Woodsley, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's got it.
I believe she's called in because she was present. That was one of the people who was trying to log in.
Larianne. So is she here right on? Because I'm looking also at the membership on the thing. So is she here or not?
Yes, I think she's on the phone and she's not able to talk.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Miss Williams, I hear you now.
Miss Evelyn, not Evelyn.
Right. So I'm talking about
Thank you.
Lorianne Woodsley. I've got Miss Williams already. Lorianne Woodsley. Okay, she's not here. Shara Wright. Let me just do a rundown with those people who I have not heard anything from.
Yaakov Berman is here as well.
Okay, hold on 1 minute. Let me go back to you.
Hi, this is also Pearson is here. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, this is Yankee Pearson.
Okay, got you on. Yaakov. One. Okay, let me go down those so that I will make sure everybody.
And
So
Michael
John.
Lombard is here as well.
Before you do that, Dante, can you lower all the hands?
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
Right. Next question. If there is a member, if you are having a technical issue, if you cannot be recognized, if you hear your name called but you can't answer, raise your hand so we can see you in
right.
the panel.
Chair, my name wasn't called. Michael Liebert is here.
Michael Liebert. Hold on. Michael Liebert? I thought you on the listing. Why are you not on the listing?
Yeah, he should be on the list.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a minute. Let me write the thing.
And when the secretary gets to the end, if you haven't heard your name, please make sure you
Right.
let me know.
Okay. Right. So who I didn't hear at all? Nothing. Mr. John Beckles Jr.
Marlene Dozier.
I've got you. I heard you. I've
You
already
heard
got
me?
you.
Okay.
Yes, I did. So
Thank
John
you.
Beckles, I didn't hear nothing from anybody for him. So he is absent. Rosemary Everlane. Going once, going twice. Absent. Sloman Hick. Going once, going twice. Absent. Primo Lozano. Going once, going twice.
Excused.
Excuse, I got it. Yes, Primo is excused. Next. Pierce Bond. Praise Booms.
Real Peer Booms.
Yeah,
I'm here.
real prayer boom. I saw you, but I didn't hear you just now, so that's why I called you.
I'm
I
here.
want to make sure I got you.
Thank you.
Mary Rollerson Blackett. Anybody, anything for her? Excuse. Absent. Melissa Sevier. I remember seeing her. Okay. Rashida Skypes. Nothing. Rabbi Sperling. Lorianne Woosley. And Cheryl Wright. Okay. Final tally. Mr. Chair, I have 29 persons present, 9 persons absent, 3 persons excused.
29 members present?
Yes.
Okay. With 29 members present, we have a quorum. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Before we continue on the agenda, I do have one change we would like to make. Omitted from the agenda for this evening is the treasurer's report. So at this time, I would like to request from the board that we amend the agenda to include the treasurer's report, which will be given after the district office report.
Okay.
I would like to call for common consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the agenda is amended. The treasurer's report will be given as item number 5, and everything else will be renumbered accordingly. Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to go on to item number 2, the approval of the April 22 general board meeting minutes. The minutes were sent out to the board previously. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes? Okay, call for a second time. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes? Okay, hearing no objections, we will consider the the minutes as adopted by common consent. Are there any objections, unless there are any objections? Hearing none, the minutes are adopted. We are now going to go on to committee reports. The committee reports have been forwarded to the board and are available. Nominations we are going to handle separately shortly. Are there any committee chairs who have a verbal report that you need to make at this meeting? Please, if you do have a verbal report, we ask that you keep it under 1 minute, and limit it to just any upcoming items or highlights that you need to announcements that you need to make. Are there any committee chairs that have any announcements for the board? Okay, thank you very much. Hearing none, we're going to move now to the nominations committee report. Do I have the chair of the nominations committee present?
Yes,
sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Alim, the floor is now yours to report on behalf of the nominations committee.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Chair, Mr. Baptiste, and everyone. I am Kyrie Aline. I've had the pleasure to serve as the chairperson for this nominations committee 2022, alongside fellow board members Felice Robertson, Naomi Baptiste, Lorraine Watt Wosley, and Unella Rowan Perry. Upon conducting our outreach, we've learned that 9 CB9 members are interested in running and or rerunning for a position on the executive committee. The positions to be filled and the candidates are Fred Baptiste for chair, Marvin Burke for vice chair, Francesca Leopold for second vice chair, Linda Watson Lord for treasurer, Lubin Christian for treasurer, Dr. Dexter Roberts for treasurer. There are no candidates for secretary, Nicholas Almanor, member at large, and myself, Kyrie Aline, for member at large. At this time, the nominations committee would like to open up the floor to nominations for anyone who would like to be placed on the ballot. You self and suggested nominations are acceptable.
Okay, thank you. So let's take it in order. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Naomi Baptiste was speaking.
Yeah, I can hold it.
Baptiste,
I can hold it.
Okay, very All right, so Mr. Chair, so let's go down the list in terms of the different positions.
Okay. So the different.
So let's start with chair. So in terms of, you have one person who's nominated and just call 3 times for anyone who's interested in, so here's the process. So please call for 3 times for anyone who's interested in nominating themselves or nominating someone else. Seconds are not required. At the end, once you call 3 times, we will entertain a motion to close the nominations for that position, and then we'll move on to the next one.
So, any nominations are open for the chair position? Chairman position?
I would like to nominate someone.
Okay, Naomi Baptiste.
Thank you. I would like to nominate Warren Burke.
So that's Warren Burke for chair person.
Yes, accept, I think.
Thank you so much, Naomi, but I will decline the nomination.
Okay.
No problem.
But thank you so much.
That was so nice. That was going once. Nominations open again. There's a second call for a chairperson. Third call. I would like to make the motion to close nominations for chairperson.
I make a motion.
So moved.
So thank you, Tessa. So
So make sure the secretary can note who made the motion and who seconded.
Secretary Tessa Hackavera made the motion. I will move the motion.
I think I made the motion and Tessa seconded it.
Yes,
That's correct.
Correct.
that's
Bye-bye.
correct, right.
I seconded. That's correct.
Thank
That's
you.
what I was about to say. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So on to the first vice chair.
Hold on, we got to vote on the motion.
Point of
So
order, yeah.
Sorry.
we have to vote on the motion. So the motion on the floor is to close the nominations for the office of chair. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none. All members in favor of closing the nominations, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Are there any members opposed to closing the nomination? Please state your name for the record so the secretary can record. Anyone opposed to the motion, please state your name for the secretary to record. I hear no one in opposition. Are there any members of the board who wish to abstain from the motion to close the nominations? Please say your name for the record. Are there any members of the board who wish to abstain from the vote? Please state your name for the record.
I have a question.
Ms. Williams, we've closed on questions, so it's the vote we need to record right now. Ms. Williams, are you abstaining or are you voting no?
Can I ask a question?
I'm sorry, Ms. Williams, we're actually in the middle of the vote. So we can take your question afterwards, but we have to get your vote for the motion.
Okay, simple. Yeah, so thank you.
Okay, so you're voting in favor? Okay. Okay, so the motion carries. Ms. Williams, I do, I apologize. I heard you had a question. What was your question?
That's for me?
Yes. What was your question?
Yes. My question is, how was this election, whatever, conducted? Weren't people supposed to be called to find out who wants to run for whatever position on the board?
Correct. An initial, well, actually, the chair of the committee can speak to that. Go ahead.
Was there a committee that had to call members to see if they want to run for any position? because I was not called.
Yes, there was a committee. This is Naomi Baptiste. I was the secretary of the committee. And me and my counterparts, we did call people starting on Saturday of this weekend to Monday, which was yesterday. If you did not answer your phone and you were left a voice and did not answer, then I don't know how you would receive the call. So we have a record of it.
I have been in my apartment, quarantined to my apartment with my
Well,
phone.
I mean,
No
I'm sorry.
one called.
Excuse me, Ms. Williams. It's nothing personal. I'm just answering the question. That's it. Nothing
No
personal.
one called here. No
Well,
one
then I
called
can't
here.
answer for that. Whoever had
Order of the day. Hold on. Ms. Williams, so the committee, there were phone calls that were placed, but in addition to that, there was an initial outreach that was sent to all members of the board requesting that they reply whether they were interested in the position.
The chairperson said by
I'm
phone.
going to nominate you.
Point of personal privilege. The chairperson is there to speak on behalf of the committee. Can you speak, please?
Yes, I may. Thank you so much, Felice, for that. So, Ms. Williams, good day to you, and again to everyone here. We contacted you.
I'm not hearing you. Can you speak a little louder, please? I'm not hearing you.
Surely. Are you hearing me now, Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Good. So I, Kyrie Aline, personally reached out to you, and as Ms. Robertson was saying, and also Ms. Baptiste, Ms. Wosley, as well as Ms. Roan Perry, we all called everyone. So we were able to contact everyone with the exception of 2 persons. Their numbers were incorrect. No
one called.
Okay,
no
Ms.
one called here.
Trying to respond.
No one called here. I have been here
Ms.
in
Williams,
this
Ms. Williams,
apartment.
allow the chair, Ms.
No
Williams,
one
Ms.
called
Williams,
here.
Ms. Williams, allow the chair to finish his comment.
Thank you much. So I have my phone records here. At Saturday at 3 p.m., you were contacted, and again on Sunday at 7:05 p.m., and you were left a voicemail. So again, our apologies. In addition to the several emails that were sent out on our behalf and with me, with Dante from the district manager, we sent the email out on Wednesday, again on Friday, 2 emails again on yesterday, Monday, and also today at around 2-something p.m. You've had ample time to respond to us, and personally, I would like to apologize if you really wanted to see my run.
No one called
Mr.
here.
Chair, we can nominate her from the floor. Let's move on.
Yes.
Find
So
out if
would
she
you
wants
like to nominate yourself for anything, Ms. Williams?
Well, hold on.
Yes,
When we get to the appropriate.
Member, I nominate myself for.
No. Hold on. Order of the day. Order of the day.
To that.
We are going down the list. The floor will be open for every position. So when you hear your position, you will have an opportunity to be nominated or to nominate yourself. So we've just concluded and taken the vote for chair. We are going to do first vice chair, second vice chair, executive secretary, treasurer, and we will have it open for members at large as well. So there will be an opportunity to nominate yourself or be nominated at that time. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, if you go ahead. So I think you're up to the position of first vice chair now.
Yes, thank you for that too. So for the motion, anyone would like to nominate themselves for the first vice chair? Any nominations? I'd like to open up the nominations for first vice chair. We have Warren Burke. Any other nominations? Go
I'd
ahead.
like to nominate Rial Peerbooms.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I'd like to nominate Rial Peerbooms.
What say he?
Michael Lindbergh.
Michael, you are too kind. Thank you very much. I'm going to respectfully decline.
Okay. First vice chair going twice. Any nominations? Last call for first vice chair going 3 times. I would like to make a motion to close the nomination pool for first vice chair.
Please, Robertson, second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to close the nominations for first vice chair. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Hearing
can we
none.
close? Can we do it at the end once, or we have to close it? We have to vote every time.
Each one, each position.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so, so at this time, motion to close the nominations. All those members of CV9 in favor, please say aye.
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 Are there any members opposed? Please state your name for the record for the secretary to record. Any opposed, please state your name for the record. Hearing none in opposition. Are there any members of CV9 who wish to abstain? Please state your name for the record. Any members of CV9 who wish to abstain, please state your name for the record. I hear no abstentions. The motion carries. Mr. Chair, go ahead to the next position.
Yes, thank you. I would like to open up the nominations for treasurer. If anybody else would like.
Second, could you go to second vice president first?
Oh, okay.
Vice Chair.
Sorry, second vice chair.
Vice Chair, yes, of course. So second vice chair, I would like to open up the nominations. If anybody else would like to nominate themselves and/or another, going once. Second vice chair, going twice. All right, so at this time, we only have Francesca Leopold as second vice chair candidate. Going 3 times. So at this time, I would like to make a motion to close the nomination pool for second vice chair.
Seconded, Nicholas Almono.
Second.
Okay, moved by Kyrie Aline, seconded by Nicholas Almanor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we're going to call the question. All those in favor of closing the nominations for second vice chair, please say aye.
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 Are there any members opposed to the motion? Please state your name for the record for the secretary to record. Any members opposed? Please state your name for the record. I hear none. Any members who wish to abstain from the vote, please state your name for the record. I call again. Any members of the board who wish to abstain, please state your name for the record. I hear no abstentions. The motion carries. The nominations are closed for the position of second vice chair. Mr. Chair, the floor is yours again.
Thank you so much. The next position, I just want to reiterate the candidates for treasurer, Linda Watson Lord, Lupio Christian, and Dr. Dexter Roberts. I would also, at this time, like to open up the floor for anyone else who would like to nominate themselves or another for the position of treasurer. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. At this time, I would like to make the motion to close. Any nominations for treasurer?
I, Felice Robinson, second that nomination.
Moved by Kyrie Aline, seconded by Felice Robertson. Is there any discussion?
Yes. I would like to remove my name from the list, please.
Okay. Ms. Linda Watson Lord has declined the nomination. Or is rescinding her name?
Rescind it.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Christian Lubeau and Dexter Roberts for the position of treasurer. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, hearing none, we're going to call the question and vote. All those members of CB9 in favor of closing nominations for treasurer, please say aye.
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 Are there any members of CB9 who wish to vote no against the motion? Please state your name for the record. Any members of CB9 who wish to vote no? please state your name for the record. I hear no members voting no. Any members of CV9 who wish to abstain from the vote, please state your name for the record. Are there any members of CV9 who wish to abstain from the vote? Please state your name for the record. I hear no abstentions. The motion carries. The floor is now closed for nominations for treasurer. Go ahead, Chair Arlene.
Thank you. So the next position I would like that we're considering is for secretary. Currently, there are no candidates who have submitted for this position. I would like at this time to open up nominations for anyone to nominate themselves or another for the position of secretary.
I'd like to nominate Matthijs Limburger for secretary. It's Michael Liburd.
I'd like to nominate myself, Naomi Baptiste, for secretary.
And this is Warren Burke. I'd like to nominate Linda Wood Watson.
Okay, I heard three names. I heard Matthijs Limburger, I heard Naomi Baptiste, I heard Linda Watson Lord. All right. Okay, at this time, do you all accept the nomination?
Sorry, what is this for?
The secretary.
For executive secretary.
Secretary. Okay.
Yes.
Can I get back to you later?
No, this is the time right now.
Well, only because your name is going to be on the ballot if you don't decline now.
Okay, I'm going to have to decline. I'm sorry.
Okay, you sure? I mean, you could have your name on the ballot. You can opt out of it afterwards if you want. You know.
I'm good.
Okay. Matthijs Limburger has declined the nomination. So I hear Naomi Baptiste and Linda Watson Lord.
I nominate Linda Watson Lord for secretary.
Yes, Ms. Williams. Yes, she's been nominated. Yes, she's been nominated and she's accepted as well. But we'll take your name as a second.
Oh, and I second for. Does Naomi Baptiste need a second?
Seconds are not required, but if you want to, we can record you.
Yes.
Third is not required either.
Mr. Chair, I just looked it up and it said that we don't have to even, the president could close the nominations and we can move on. We don't have to do a vote each unless they're voting, unless they're just doing it to elect people for honor. That's why we would do it, in order to close it down. But we could just move on to the end and make one motion or not even make a motion, according to Robert's rules.
Right, we've only got, after this, we've only got one position next, so we'll just continue.
Well, let's get to it then.
Two positions.
Okay, so let's do this very quickly. So we have Naomi Baptiste, Linda Watson Lord. Is there anyone else? Well, actually, I'm sorry. Was the motion already put forward?
No, so going once, anyone else? Going twice? And this is the last call for anyone interested in executive secretary position. At this time, I would like to make a motion to close nominations for the executive secretary position.
I second it, Felice Robertson.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, moved by Kyrie Aline, seconded by Felice Robertson. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none. Let me ask this. We can accept this by common consent. Are there any objections to close the floor by common consent?
I object. I think that to keep the continuity and to make it fair for each candidate, it should remain the same.
Yes.
So no, what I'm saying is common consent means everybody goes down as a yes vote for the motion, just for this one.
No, I'm saying that the way we have been handling it, I'm sorry, excuse me. The way we have been handling it, I think it's a proper way of handling it. We only have a few more. It would be quick. I think we should just keep it consistent, if you may, please.
What I'm saying is, just for clarity, by asking for common consent, I'm asking if everyone is going to vote yes for this motion. If somebody doesn't want common consent, if there are issues, then you say that and we'll go through the entire roll, or we'll call for everybody for who's yes and who's no and abstaining. So, this is just in terms of for this vote to say, does everybody vote in favor of this? Common consent, that's all we're asking for. The floor will be open for the last one.
All right.
Okay? All right, so are there any objections for common consent? Okay, hearing none, the motion carries, the floor is closed. So now we'll go on to the last one. Go ahead, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you again.
Two more.
So,
Two more, sir. Two more, sir.
Two more?
what's
Yes.
two more?
Two more.
Members at
Members
large,
are-
2-person. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Right.
So that's
Yeah,
what
no, we just take all the names for that, because that one just gets
Oh.
selected.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You all are so amazing. A member at large is 2 members for 1 category. So in the last closing category, we have 2 candidates. That would be Mr. Nicholas Amanor and myself, Kyrie Aline. At this time, I would like to open up the floor for anyone else who would like to nominate themselves for one of the 2 member at large positions.
Yaakov Berman would like to nominate somebody. I want to nominate somebody who's been a member of large for many years, who's a great advocate for the community and public safety, and a dear friend of mine, Evelyn Williams.
And I second that.
No need to second, but
I nominate
Evelyn Williams.
Evelyn.
Evelyn Williams, I'm sorry.
Evelyn Williams.
Accept.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to be nominated for member at large position?
Well, I nominate Kari. Let me make sure that I'm saying your name correctly. Ali.
He's already nominated.
He's already
Okay.
on.
Okay, okay.
Thank you
Sorry
so
about
much. Okay, so going twice, and that was the second time, I guess. And for the last time, is there anybody else interested in nominating themselves or another for a member at large position? All right. I would like to make a motion to close all nominations for a member at large position on the executive committee.
I second it. Felice Robertson.
Okay, moved by Kyrie Aline, seconded by Felice Robertson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. We can,
I believe
we
that
can vote.
Pat Moses raised her hand when you asked, is there any discussion?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Ms. Moses, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just having a problem here, and I don't know how we're going to resolve it, because a lot of the people that are nominated have not even been reappointed. So I don't know how this election takes place. I don't really understand how that's going to happen.
I was thinking about that too.
No, so Ms. Moses, so the way the way the appointments happen is that your term goes until either March 31st or until your successor has been appointed. So everyone, until you are either reappointed or told you are not, is still an active member of CB9. So if that changes between then, obviously the ballots will be amended, or those people won't be here, so it's a moot point.
Okay, but I guess what I'm really kind of saying is that I think that we need to reach out and find out exactly what's going on with reappointments or appointments to the borough office. Because this is really not, I've never seen this before. I mean, we've been late, but this is really, really late. And so we could all be voted, I mean, let's say everybody's voted in by the board, but in essence, not reappointed. And I'll tell you, it's a good number of you that are up for reappointment.
Hey, Pat, it's Warren.
Yeah.
I just want to answer that. Pat, this does happen most years. Obviously, whoever is not reappointed will be withdrawn from the ballot. We have no control over this. It's really a function of the borough president's office. And I totally agree with your laggedness. Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions? Okay,
I just want to
hearing
note,
none.
for the record that I did actually reach out to Borough Hall last Thursday, which would have been the 19th, to inquire about the process, and I did not receive any correspondence back.
I think Diana, former Assembly Member Diana Richardson, is in charge. I think you should reach out to her directly. If you want, I could give you her cell phone number after the meeting.
Right. Yeah, and we can do that, but if we can keep the the questions germane to the motion at hand with regards to this. But okay, so let's call the question so we can move this. Are there any objections to common consent?
Yeah, moved for unanimous consent.
Okay, hearing no objections, the motion is adopted. The floor is closed for nominations for member at large. Okay, all right, so for the record, the ballots for the June elections will be for Chair, Fred Baptiste. For first Vice Chair, Warren Burke. For second Vice Chair, Francisca Leopold. For Treasurer, I have Christian Lubeau and Dexter Roberts. For Executive Secretary, I have Naomi Baptiste and Linda Watson Lord. For Member at Large, I have Nicholas Almanor, Kyrie Aline, and Ms. Evelyn Williams.
Perfect.
Madam Secretary, is that correct? Do we have everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. So in terms of process, first of all, thank you to the Nominations Committee. So the next piece of business that we will be handling with respect to that there's two pieces. One, we are going to have to adopt a resolution, which will be later on with respect to virtual meetings. The other piece of that as well is going to be, we will have to actually ratify an amendment to the bylaws for us to actually vote electronically.
Oh, yes.
So there's some additional conversation, discussion that I will have as part of my chairman's report. I'll give some additional context to that. So with that being said, the Nominations Committee will help with, we'll be meeting and discussing with respect to the process that's going to be going forward. But again, additional commentary will happen during my chairman's report. But my thanks to the Nominations Committee for all your hard work to this point and making sure, this is a very smooth and seamless process. Okay, at this time, we are now going to go to the district office report.
All right, good evening, everyone. All right, for my report from the District Service Cabinet, as you probably are all aware, New York City has moved from a medium COVID alert level to a high amid the rising cases. Just be reminded when you're out, with your friends and with family, just be cautious, wear your mask. If you know of anyone who's interested in obtaining any COVID tests, as you heard earlier, Senator Myri's office does have a significant amount of tests. If you're interested in that, you can reach out to the board office, or you can look up the information for Senator Myri's office and get in contact with them. Next, the 71st precinct has seen an increase in burglaries in Sector Charlie, which is Prospect Lefferts. On the streets in question, it was Flatbush, Winthrop, and Parkside Avenue. If you happen to live on the lower stories in your apartment building and you have a fire escape, please just be aware and make sure that your windows are secure. They're just seeing an increase in burglaries, fire escape or burglaries. So if you live on the lower floors, just be aware, especially during the day, that your windows are closed. Next, the beaches, NYC beaches will reopen for swimming for Memorial Day. So they will be open Saturday, May 28th of this year, open for swimming. National Grid is doing some grid service line inspections that are mandatory. If you see any contractors come up to your apartment or to your home and they're with Precision Pipeline Solutions, they have been contracted out by National Grid to perform these inspections. Please, just confirm their identity, but Precision Pipeline Solutions is the contractor who's doing the inspections. If you believe that they have showed up to your door and you didn't know who they were, so you didn't let them gain access, you can call the board office. I'll reach out to National Grid to confirm if you're on the list where they have not been able to gain access. If If they visit and they don't gain access, I'm not sure if there's a specific deadline, but I do know that there is a penalty for up to $1,000 if they don't gain access for that inspection. So if you or anyone that you know may be on the list, you can give a call to the board office and we'll reach out to National Grid to confirm. Also, NHS Brooklyn, Neighborhood Housing Services of Brooklyn, has opened the AHC grant for residents who are eligible can receive up to $20,000 for home repairs. The grant is awarded on a first come first served basis. If you are interested in this, reach out to the board office. We do have a brochure, I believe, with all of the information, and we can definitely send that out to you. Also, the board will be returning to the Zoom platform. We'll be turning to the Zoom platform, which I know that many of us are going to be pleased with. So there will be a change in future meetings, so just look out for that. We will send updated notices to the community, put it on our website, send it out to board members. But for the month of June, all of our meetings will be on the Zoom platform. Let's see. Also, if you are part of a block association, please reach out to the board office so we can update our roster of block associations, merchants associations, tenant associations, and so forth in the board office. That allows us to disseminate information to blocks easier. And so if you're a part of any of these associations, reach out to the board office. We'll take down your information, connect us with any leadership that you know of these associations, just so we have that one-way street to disseminate information. And then my last update is, as you all are aware, the community fair is coming up in like 2 weeks on the 4th. We were scheduled to have a rain barrel giveaway, but I was informed by DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, that they will not be receiving a shipment of barrels until mid-July. So what we've changed the giveaway to a sign up. The registration will be open into the month of June, and then we will have to host a separate giveaway for individuals who have signed up. With that, that's my report.
Thank you very much. We can take 2 questions for the district manager. And listen, behind 2 questions. After the second question, then that is it. We need to move on the agenda. I see Melanie Lewis.
I'm so sorry. I tried to put it down so I don't take up a more important question.
Understood. No problem. Are there any questions for the district manager? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much, Dante, for your report.
I just wanted to say thank you for the district office. Thank you so much for being so helpful and resourceful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. All right, we
Hi,
are now going to move on.
excuse me, Fred. This is Warren. I have a statement. I just hope everyone is all the people on the board are going to participate and be at the community fair. It should be really terrific. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Warren. All right, we are now going to move on to item 5, which we added to the agenda, the treasurer's report. Do we have the treasurer? Dexter Roberts, are you present? Right, is the treasurer present?
Yes, he is. He's on, sir.
Let me see if I can.
He unmute himself.
Hello?
Yes.
It's my turn, right?
Yep, Mr. Treasurer, we have you.
Give me 1 minute. Oh, sorry. Okay, good night, Mr. Chair, and to all members of Community Board 9. I would assume that you would have received the budget report via your emails and then on last Friday. So you'd have some time to probably go through and look it over. It's a very long, intensive sheet, so I don't think that you want me to read every item tonight line by line, but Dante has worked relentlessly within this week to put an itemized budget line by line with the codes and that those stuff. So if we look at the budget, in the bottom of the budget, we give you a line of code so that you can understand that what is the uncommon balances, what it means, the incumbent funds, the unit of appropriation, and the budget modification. Budget as of the May 17, 2022. When we look under the when we look under when you look out, you look there,
Excuse me, Mr. Robert. Mr. Chair, can I ask request to share that part of the budget that he's talking about? Just we could just have a visual, please.
Dante, would you be able to bring the budget up on and do a screen share?
Question,
Thank you.
did everyone receive the budget in their email?
You can see this, correct?
Can you make it a little bit bigger? Because I can see, but I can tell you that some people would not. That's a little bit better. Thanks. And just take it across a bit, Dante, that we can see from the first. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Wait. I need it bigger. What is this?
Right. I was about to say bigger, but bigger it might go off the page. I was worried. Okay, bigger.
I asked a question and no one failed. No one failed to answer. Did you all receive the budget first to begin?
I'm searching for it, to be honest with you right now. Melanie Lewis.
Okay, nice. It was sent on Friday.
We got it.
Well, I'm sure we did, Mr. Roberts, but I don't know if everyone read it.
Okay. Well, reading is fundamental.
I agree. Anything you're saying, I would just like to get through the report.
I know, Mr. Robert, you're doing the bottom part, so I guess it's the most important part. So I just wanted us to have a visual. You don't have to go through the whole thing.
I agree with you, and everyone speak for themselves.
Okay, so when you look into the budget, as I said, when you to the end of the budget, I like the way that Dante would have put this together when we had a discussion. So you see, we explained to you what was uncommon balances, incumbent funds, unit of appropriation, and budget modification, right? It says that the uncommon balances, they are allocated, remaining, and available for what is remaining in the account. The incumbent is funds that someone speaking? Those are contractual obligations that we have, and the unit of appropriation represents the amount for a particular program, propose the activities, etc. And budget modification, a change in an account in any budget. So I am moving back to the top of the page, and you would see under the appropriate unit 1, you see that there were expenses for personal services, etc. And you could see the current budget modification was $213,666. And when you look into the total current modified budget. You see, we have two, that it was the same 2015, $215,212. And then when you look at the actual amount that we have in the account now, you see $171,113.29, right? What you have to still take into consideration under personal expenses is that there are outstanding bills, or some of the bills would not have been reached at the time of this budget, so money will still be is allocated to still be used for personal services. Any questions? Give me 1 minute. My computer battery's running out. Just let me plug in my cord. Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Ah.
While we're waiting for the treasurer to come back, I just wanted to point out, it's important for us to understand that there is a certain amount of lag that happens as well. So even with the numbers that we see, there are still bills that have not hit the system as of that date. So the numbers change even after that. So this is something that's going to be a lagging change where you'll see the numbers will actually go down. But there are definitely bills that are being accrued, things that are being paid out from that account as we progress as well with the budget here.
With all due respect, can I get a copy of this, please? Because it was not submitted to me.
That should have went out as
Everyone
part
should have received it on Friday. We sent it out. If you had the agenda, it was in the very same email.
I'm looking as we speak, as you're speaking. I'm looking. I don't.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Dante, could I ask you to do me a favor?
Okay.
My computer cord, I picked up the wrong cord when I was leaving the office tonight because I was running late. I had this commencement, as you know, and I can show you, I bring the wrong cord home. I bring a USB cord instead of the cord to push into charge my computer. I can screen snap and send you that. They say the battery will be out in 2 minutes. I may have to log back on my phone or tablet, but I would not be able to read it. But just could you just finish off from where I stopped? Forgive me.
If that's fine with the board.
Would you still be able to answer any questions without seeing the actual figures, Ms.
I am going to
Mr.
log
Treasurer?
on. I have the budget print in my hand on paper, so I'm going to log on to my tablet now, but it'll take me a few minutes to get onto it. So I'm asking Dante to start continuing. I will come in. I'm now pulling my tablet out to log in.
We can do this. We can do this. This is going to take you a few minutes. We'll come back to the agenda. Let me go on to the chairman's report, so that way it'll give you an opportunity to get set back up, and then you can continue from there.
Thank you so much.
Question.
Yeah, well, we're going to come back. He's going to come back. I'm going to do, just because he's got to drop off. I'm going to finish my chairman's report, and then we'll be able to come back to the treasurer's report, so you'll be able to ask the treasurer's questions at that time. Okay? So just ask for your patience for a moment. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next item, the chairman's report. I'm going to try and be fairly brief, but I want to just really kind of highlight there is so much going on here at the board. So first things first, community fair. We've been talking about this for a while. This is real. It is coming to fruition. We are scheduled for June 4th, 2022, Saturday, June 4th. We are going to be at Ronald McNair Park. That'll be near Washington Avenue, near Eastern Parkway. This is going to be a fantastic event. We've got a number of vendors coming that are confirmed, agencies that are becoming as well. We have activities that are scheduled, and we're just trying to really make this a nice event for the community to come out to be able to convene, to be able to enjoy the, being out for the first time in a long time as a community, as well as share some good information and hopefully some good times as a district. So as we mentioned before, and I need to reiterate, this is a Community Board 9 initiative, which means we need Community Board 9 to be invested in this. We need you to come out. We need you to show out. We want all of our members to be there, to engage, so we can put names to faces, and we can connect with our district in a way that we haven't done in a good long time. So I would ask that everyone, I would ask that the district office please make sure you send out a notice to the board. I would ask for everyone to please RSVP your attendance. We would like to know that you're going to be there. We are going to have tasks, because obviously if you are hosting an event, there are certain tasks that we need to make sure are being done. So the district office is creating a punch list, task list. So if you receive notices about that, please make sure that you let people know you're coming. If you are asked to work a shift or do certain things, we ask for people to please be aware of that and pitch in to make sure that this is a successful event. Nominations, elections. So we have just, again, thanks to the nominations committee for doing the process in terms of getting us, through the nominations portion of it. So we are now going to be going on to elections, which will be happening next month. Okay. So with regards to that, one of the things that has been a challenge in past years, we know it's been a problem, and it's going to definitely be a problem this year. We very likely may have new members on the board and people who are not here. So it's going to be very difficult for people to know who's on the board and what the positions are. So what we are asking for all those members of the board who have asked to be candidates is to please create a bio that you can send to the nominations committee and to the community board, so that way we can forward that out in terms of who you are, what your experiences are, and what your vision is for the position that you are looking to be a candidate in. This is a good resource. I think it was very helpful the last couple of years we did that. And again, it kind of fills the gap in the sense that, we may have very brand new board members who have no idea who we are. So at least we'll be able to present them with something to give some background in terms of who's looking for leadership on this board. Okay, one of the things we are going to be voting, well, one of the things that's very important for us to discuss this evening, the open meetings law has been amended. So it was one of the challenges. We were actually able to meet because of state legislation. We were able to meet virtually. That legislation has been changed. There was actually new legislation adopted as part of this budget process. So the uptick is that we are allowed to meet virtually. There are caveats to that. So for us to meet virtually as a board, that means we have to adopt a resolution allowing for virtual meetings. Part of that also means that there is a physical component that is required of that as well. So what we are going to be doing this evening is voting on a resolution that's been transmitted to all the board members, authorizing CB9 as an entity to actually have virtual meetings as part of our process. This doesn't always mean we meet virtually. If the conditions are right and we have the setup, we will definitely try and meet in person wherever it makes sense. But we also wanted the flexibility in terms of being able to leverage virtual meetings when it makes sense as well, particularly when we get into the colder months, if there's bad weather, inclement weather, so that way we do not have to have definitely more vulnerable members of the board having to come out and come to the locations for that. So we are going to be voting on that this evening. That's already been put out. Yeah, so with respect to committee activities, well, actually we can do there. The one thing I have to say is one thank you to all the members of the chairs and all the committees for all the hard work you've done this year. The one thing I've asked for the chairs and the committees to do is for your last meetings in June to actually do a year in review, do a retrospective. Let's memorialize the great work that you've been doing. Let's talk about the things, the projects that you have in flight that maybe we haven't done them quite yet, but we want to see continue next year. And let's set some targets and some goals in terms of the things we want to continue doing as a board. So I ask that all the committees and the chairs dedicate some portion of their meetings in June to have that discussion, so we can have that memorialized as part of the minutes. And that way, when the board reconvenes in the fall, we're able to pick up and continue the great work that's being done. Reappointments, again, has been mentioned. Unfortunately, we're still very much behind in terms of the appointments haven't happened. We ask for everyone's patience. The district office is reaching out, trying to get additional information. We're going to continue those efforts. But if you are on the board, until you are either reappointed or not reappointed, you are still a member of CB9. So you continue on until you are told not to continue coming. So please make sure you do all your obligations, continue to come to the meetings, go to your committee assignments as well. And lastly, but not least, I want to talk about the district office team and how phenomenal they are. I think one of the, some of the conversations we've been having are with respect to what we know as an office and what we can act on as an office. And this is to say that, we rely on the board members and the community to be the eyes and the ears of the office. If you see something that needs to be corrected, or if there are dangerous conditions or any issues, we ask that you do two things. One, if you're in a position to do so, report it to 311. So that way we make sure the city knows that this is a problem that they need to look into. Step two to that is, please record whatever reference numbers they give you and make a second call to CB9 and let us know you put that in there. Part of what I'm very proud of the office team is they are phenomenal in terms of being able to pick up on on the information, all these complaints, and follow up and get resolution to it. But again, it's hard for them to follow up if they don't actually know the complaints have been lodged. And as a board, one of the things we've been looking at is actually being able to start gathering data so we can see what complaints are just blips every once in a while, or what really are chronic issues in the district that we as a board, we need to really be engaging partners in terms of addressing. That is all I have for that. So we do have the one item in terms of the resolution that we are going to be voting on very shortly.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I just feel I have an obligation to point out, as one of the longest Orthodox Jewish members of the board, that this event is on a Saturday. So both the Orthodox Jewish board members and the Orthodox Jewish community, which is about, 15 to 18% of the district, cannot participate. I know historically the board was incredibly sensitive not to make events on a Saturday, and there were times where exceptions were made after consultation and communication with the Orthodox Jewish members in the community. And as far as I know, no communication or consultation took place. So I just feel I have an obligation to make note of that. Thank you very much.
No, absolutely, duly noted, and only because of the nature of the event, this is something that we couldn't normally do during the business hours, and because of the vendors and the agencies we were trying to bring to bear, it became a decision where we lost a lot more if we actually originally tried to program it on a Sunday, but we lost so much.
There should have been a conversation at the very least.
Understood, but this is part of why we brought it in, and that was part of the planning process in terms of we were trying to be very respectful of that. And we always, and that is the commitment to trying to remain respectful of that as well. Okay, no, but your comment is duly noted, absolutely. I will take another question if we have any questions.
Yes. Chairman Baptiste?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, this is Hackett Vera. I was just wondering if where does the board stand with quality of life issues? I mean, there was a time when the board would pay some attention to potholes and street lights that were out and the like. Is that still something that Dante and the wonderful people that work in the office give any credence to?
Yes. That's one of the main.
Let me answer that first. And then definitely Dante. As Dante said, yes, they absolutely pay attention to that. But what I think we're trying to do with this is take it to the next level, because they are quite adept at handling the issues as they come in. But part of what we're also seeing is that sometimes that there are issues that we don't know about. So if there are potholes, or particularly if there are areas or wide areas where potholes are an issue, it's one of those things that they can handle easier instead of going onesie-twosie, saying, listen, the entire stretch of road needs to be repaved. Or if we see that there are certain kinds of complaints that are really rampant in the district, Dante has his district service cabinet meeting in which he's able to address the key people and say, no, we have a problem with street lights, potholes, whatever have you. But the idea is we just want to start being able to get
sinkholes, street lights being out.
All of it, yeah.
That kind of thing.
All of it. And that's all we're saying is when you see these things, to make sure, one, you report it, but two, let the district office know. So that way they can keep track of this and definitely make sure that they keep getting the data. Because it's always better if we can say, okay, listen, I have a complaint on this one, as opposed to, no, we have 10 complaints. I need to get to cracking on something.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so that concludes my report. And again, we just have that one item that we will cover during the voting session. Dexter,
I believe that Felice Robinson had her hand up for a question.
Okay, Felice, we'll take that one, but that will be the last question. We have to move on.
Melanie.
I'm sorry, sorry, but I didn't get a copy of the Treasury report. I just looked on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I
I'll send it to you right now.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. Melanie, you got a question?
Yes, thank you. My question was in relation to the report for the treasurer. I just wanted to know what uncommitted, what that refers to. If you explained that, pardon me, I missed it. But I just wanted to understand the uncommitted part of the report. What does that mean?
I ask you to hold that one. The treasurer is going to come back momentarily, and he'll be able to take your question directly.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Moses has her hand up too.
Yes, Ms. Moses.
No, my hand is up for the treasurer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, very well. All right, so I've concluded my report. Dexter, you're on deck. Are you good?
I am ready. I was lucky I have a
All right,
backup.
well,
I didn't have to log out. I had a backup cord for another computer, and I just remember, so I just quickly got it.
no
Thank
problem.
you.
All right, sir, you got the floor.
Yes. Okay, so let me go back to it. So the last thing I said, I was under unit of appropriation 001, and I said that we had 250 the total current modified budget, and I said that was $215,212, and the actual expenditure so far is $171,113.29. And I asked, and at that point, I asked, is there any question?
Could you explain to us, Mr. Treasurer, what's the $44,000 difference between those two figures? What is that for? Is that money that will be spent later, or is that bills that's already in thing? Could you just explain to us the difference in that we
Okay,
understand?
so in a budget, if you have $100, you was given $100, and you spend $75, you will have $25 remaining.
Yes.
But the year hasn't completed as yet, so that means you have that extra $25 to finish put any other bills that comes within before the budget ends. So we tell you what we had as a budget, and we tell you what we spend. We didn't give you a balance as to say, so you were very good to calculate that 44,000 difference, right? So whatever that is, as we say, if you okay, so let me talk slower. Forgive me. So when I began the budget, I said I give you 4 codes, and I said what these codes were. Permit me one more time to go back and read these 4 codes a little slower so you can understand. Forgive me, we all have language barriers, and I probably speak fast. So let me try to go slow so that you can understand.
Excuse me, Dexter, it's Warren. Could you just say, instead of the number, what the budget actually is? So is 001 operating? Is it personnel? Just so we can be informed.
Okay, yeah, so
Thank you.
001, and I think I would have said it at the beginning again, but I will say it again. 001 deals with the personal services of the community board, right? What is personal services? That's what you want to know?
Salary. It's salaries.
Okay, great. So personal services is salary.
Yeah, that number will continue to move. Yes.
That the budget, but the modified budget was $215,212. So far, $171,113.29, I would say, was spent. and we have a balance because somebody's must be more smart than me that of $44,000 something, which will have to take to the end of the year. So we are giving you not an actual total budget. We are telling you what we have as of today, because I use the word budget as of May 17th. This is what was on hand under personal services.
Thank you. You explained it.
I'm trying my best. Any questions, more questions on the personal services? Okay, let me say, like, according to my chief education, all minds are clear and all hearts are clear.
No, not all
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I have my hand up.
Okay.
Let's
Tell,
talk-
ask the question, please.
Okay, let's talk about sub-object 40-042 on the personal services. Can you explain what 552.96 is? That's under your sub-object 42 under personal services.
Under personal services, you said
Object 42.
It's under sub-object 042.
Right.
And that is personal service. So can you explain to me what that is?
So give me 1 minute.
If I could also follow Ms. Moses, do 061 the same time, because they're both the same thing.
Well, not really, because under the sub-object for personal services, they have an allocated amount. But when you kind of go over that amount or into something different, then we have to know exactly what it is.
Okay, so you're saying under personal services, under 061,
No.
you have 170.
No,
172.
the sub-object 042.
42 first.
Yes, no. 042?
Yes.
Yes, no. 042, and you see that is a $529.14.
Yes.
552.96. What is that?
Ms. Moses, he's right, it's $529.14.
No, it's $552.96.
Not.
If you're talking about under the number 042, the number that I am seeing here is $529.14.
Yeah, I must have a report from Mars, but in any event, explain.
Okay, so I would ask Dante to help me
explain what that is.
to explain the $529.14 under personal services.
Thank you. Okay, so let me just try to bring some clarity to all this. So in terms of the board budget, with 001, which is personnel services, which we've made very clear, personnel services is carried out by Borough Hall. So if we get paid on a biweekly basis, our salaries will calculate, and Borough Hall takes monies out of that allotment that we receive from O&B to pay our salaries. So Borough Hall handles those appropriations. We don't touch salary. They handle that appropriation straight out of Borough Hall. So if your question is, you really must know what the 042 is, I can inquire with Borough Hall to see exactly what that line is. But when it comes to personnel services, Borough Hall pays our, they take care of the salaries.
Okay, let me explain to you why it's important. And I understand under sub-object, trust me. When you deal on the sub-object, it deals with your salary. But when you go over those sub-objects, which happened here, under that, so what was it? Was it overtime? What was it? And that's what we need to know, because I know all about those sub-objects. So my point is, something went over in your salaries. I want to know what it was. That's it.
No, I understand what you're saying. Since I see that negative there, that might have been from another fiscal year, but we will look into that. But I understand what you're asking, and I can follow up with you.
And I hear what you're saying, but it wasn't really to you. To me, it was to the treasurer, because the treasurer is the overseer of our whole situation that's going on the community board now. And to me, the treasurer should have known what that was. And I'm done.
And I understand that you said the treasurer should know that that. Now remember, the treasurer community board 9 doesn't actually holds money. They are just given figures as to what to spend and what is not, and what to spend. So it's not like if I have the money in my hands and I'm saying we'll be paying this out or we paying that out. If Borough Hall take that money out and I would never ask about it, then I would know 100%. And I don't take, and I'm not trying to dish myself from the blame, but what I'm saying, if I am not handling money cash in my hands, and a report is they are sending figures on a monthly basis, say, okay, we take out this, we deduct this, we deduct that. I may not have might have overlooked it as probably a taxes or some fee that they may have charged. But since you were able to point it out, it is my job to inquire what would that fee be.
So anyway, I'm going to close out with that. All I'm saying, Dante, I'm not pointing a blame with anything.
Please, lady.
All I want to know is what it was. That's it.
Okay, and we will give you that answer within the next meeting, what that O2 the 04 line was, and the line and line 061 was the 2 lines that you all questioned, and you will definitely have an answer for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. Could I move forward?
And if I could, just to keep this moving, go through the entire report. If you have a question, raise your hand. We will take all the questions at the end.
Okay, great. So moving forward, under the unit of appropriation 2, other than personal expense, you see here that we showed the expense that you spend for supplies and material. For supply and material, you have the whole data there. Let me give you the total.
Mr. Chair, we were
Yes.
all sent this report. We all have the ability to read this
So,
report. It's 9:40
you
at
saw
night. I don't see a purpose.
the modified budget that you've seen for other other than personal expense, you see that the modified budget was $46,007.00. You see the total that was spent so far was $29,864.30. And in there, you see the different amount of money that was spent on the different items. And I don't want to spend too much time in going through the items, those item lines. And then moving straight into the unit of appropriation 003 for rent, you see that we had a $119,390 total, and that was current under the current modified budget. You see so far the actual expenditure was $75,047. Modified budget $380,609. Total expenditure was $279,024.59.
Okay, if there are any questions for the treasurer, please raise your hands and we'll take those. Okay, we're going to take a speakers list. When I've completed the list, that's all the questions we're taking because we do need to move on to the agenda. I do see Tessa Hackett Vieira. Are there any other questions? Please use the raise hand function. I see Melanie Lewis. Are there any other questions? I'll call for a second time. Are there any other questions? Third time. Okay, we are taking 2 questions only for the treasurer. Tessa Hackett Vieira, Melanie Lewis, and we are closed after that. We are moving on in the agenda. Okay, Ms. Hackett Vieira, go ahead. Your question.
Yes, two things. I don't know if this is an appropriate question for the treasurer or for the chair or for the district manager. I was just wondering, number one, has there been any recent renovations to the physical plant at CB9? Has there been any, recent renovations, plumbing issues, anything that needed money to be spent on functionally? And two, is there a final bill on the community fair that's coming up for June 4th?
I will answer. No, there haven't been any renovations, cosmetic or plumbing wise, at 890 Nostrand. If it was plumbing, we would be speaking to the landlord, and DCAS would be taking care of that bill. As it pertains to the community fair, there isn't a final bill yet. We're still accepting vendors. We're approximately at like 65 to 70. So before we finalize how many chairs and tables and things of that nature, we'll have to amend any orders that are currently pending. So there's not an official number of cost, per se, for the community fair at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only comment I'll add to that is, I definitely want the board to be aware that, there are definitely numbers that are in flux. So even despite what we see here, there are still bills coming due. There are still contracts that we need to fulfill. So even though the gaps may seem substantial between actual expenditure and what's budgeted, that shrinks very quickly, especially in the last month of operation for the board. And then not to mention, we always need to make sure that we have money on hand for incidentals. Wow, the printer broke down or something else, or there's a large print item. So there's definitely going to be some expenses that, typically are incurred at the end of the year, which is typical of board operations. So you'll definitely see a lot of these gaps are going to close very quickly. Thank you very much for that. And Ms. Lewis?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to confirm that the uncommitted column on the report is the balance of the current modified budget and the actual expenditure. So my question is the uncommitted column the balance of the current modified budget and actual expenditure? Just confirming if that's the case. And if not, what is it?
Okay, and I will answer that question once again. We give you 4 codes, as that's the first thing I began the budget with tonight, because I wanted to make sure that people had a clear idea of the codes. And the uncommitted amount would be the balance that you have, and it says here in the notes that the allocated remaining and available for use in the account after deducting outstanding or incurrence or any expenditure from authorized allocation. So yes, that is what you have balance, but that you have balance that's remaining that you have on the budget, but it's not the final. It's what we're trying to say. You may see $40,000 balance. It doesn't mean at the end of it that we have $40,000 to close the year out with. There are still bills, there are still things outstanding that will be that will take place in the budget that will have to be accounted, right? So anybody knows, and I'm not an accountant, but I can just let you be wise. Anybody knows that if you have a certain amount of money in your hands today, you'll get that pay, you get salary, you will pay your light bill, you'll pay your gas bill today. But by the time next week, another bill will come in your hands. If you had $40 remaining back, $10 for another bill come, you will put it in. So the remaining that is shown there as the uncommitted amount is not the final budget, because you still have expense coming in. So we just give you as of that date. So the office may have received a bill that I am not aware of today. They might have received one yesterday that I'm not aware of as yet, but they have to be paid. So the money that is there will be used to pay those bills out.
Thank you.
I think one way, if this is useful to think about it, uncommitted means that there's no contracts against it. So whereas you see if something is encumbered, that means, oh yeah, there's a contract, that means we have to pay X amount of dollars for this, so they put that pot there. Uncommitted means that there's not a contract in there, but that doesn't mean we don't have expenses that we know are going to be coming up. So for example, you see uncommitted, you see 43,000 or some change in terms of personnel services. Doesn't mean we have 43,000 because we still got to pay our staff through the end of the year. So that's a way of looking at that in terms of the uncommitted balance.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much for all the questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Roberts, for your for the report. We are now going to move on in the agenda. We have a couple of voting items that we are going to take care of right now. So the first one in item 7, resolution on virtual meetings. So as I had indicated during my chairman's report, with the change in the open meetings law, one of the requirements for us to actually be able to utilize that is for us to adopt a resolution allowing for virtual meetings at CB9 in accordance with the changes in the open meetings law that were passed. So I do have the resolution has been distributed to the board. Dante, would you be able to post the resolution on the screen?
Yes, give me one.
Thank you very much. It should have been passed out. So let me do this in the interest of time. Are there any members of the board at this time who have questions with respect to the resolution? Please use the raise hands function. I'll take questions. Okay. Are there any members of the board who have questions with regard to the resolution?
Mr. Chair, I would like to move a motion to accept this resolution.
Okay, we have a motion by Dexter Roberts to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Second by, I thought I heard Michael Liburd.
Correct.
Okay, moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Okay, I'm hearing none. Let's try this. Do we have common consent? We can adopt this by common consent unless there are any objections. Are there any objections? Let me know if you have an objection right now. Okay, hearing none, the resolution is adopted by CB9 by common consent. Madam Secretary, please record a yes vote for all members present. Thank you very much for that. Okay, we are going to go on to the 2 SLA applicants. So we have KDO's Soul Food located at 452 East New York Avenue for a new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license. And we have Gaia Nomaya at 510 Flatbush Avenue, who is coming to us for a method of operation change to include patron dancing and employee dancing.
Motion to approve both.
Second,
Okay.
Second.
All right, I have a motion on the floor by Michael Liburd to adopt both resolutions. I have a second by, I'm sorry, who was the second?
Tessa Hackett.
Second by Tessa Hackett-Vera. Okay, are there any questions?
I do see Rashida Sadiq. Her hand is raised.
Okay, we'll take the speakers list. And once I finish the list, once we close the list is closed. Rashida, I see you. We'll call you fairly. Are there any other questions?
Chair, why don't we do it? There are questions, somebody's going to address this motion. The point.
Sorry, repeat that?
We made a motion, right? It was seconded?
Yes.
And there's no time for questions. People can address now the motion, to support, against. There's no time
It's
for
in
questions.
discussion right
You can
now.
ask
Of course
questions
there
with
is.
respect to the motion or speak to the motion.
Discussion.
You can speak to the motion. That is allowed. Calling for a third time. Okay, we have one speaker that is going to be Rashida Sadiq, and we are going to close on her, and then we'll call the question after that. Rashida, go ahead. I'm sorry. You have the floor.
Hi, I just had a question. So are we voting to approve them together, or are we I just need clarification, because I would say that we want to separate the approval. That would be my.
I agree.
Yeah, so so is it what's on the floor right now is to approve them together?
Correct.
Yes. Okay, so that I've been part of this public safety committee as a chair and as part of this for the recent year, and I really want to speak on this motion, and I think we really need to have these as 2 separate motions in regard to just the severity and the things that have been going on with particular the one, not Katie.
Okay, so with that,
Mr. Chair.
being said, hold on 1 second. So with that being said, your option is to offer a motion to divide the question. If it's approved and
Yes.
adopted, it's 2 questions. If it goes down, then we're back to this and we could vote on both.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, I would vote motion to separate them into
Divide
2.
the question. Yeah,
Yes.
you move to divide the question.
Second.
All right.
Third.
Hold on. We have a motion to divide by Rashida Sadiq. Who's the second?
Kyrie.
Second, Michael Liburd.
Michael Liburd is the motion to second. Okay, divide. Are there any questions with regards to this? Are there any questions?
Carmen Martinez, hand raised.
Okay, Carmen, we will see you. Are there any other questions? Otherwise, we're going to close on Carmen. Seeing
okay.
none, I see one speaker, Carmen Martinez, and we'll close on her. Go ahead, Carmen, you have the floor.
Yeah, I don't have a question. I know I didn't hear the whole presentation, but I did hear part of it. It seems to me like there's 2 different situations with each one of those licenses. So I would like to have an option to vote on each one of them individually, because I have concerns about the constituent that spoke against the establishment, or their expressed concerns about the quality of life, the effect that they will have in quality of life. And from what I understand, that is not the case for the other applicant.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to comment on if now is the right opportunity or it's later, I'd like to comment on the concerns brought by the community about Gianna.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Point of order. Can we close this discussion and move to the vote? So we can go back to standing, please?
No, I'm getting to that. So we have the motion. The floor is closed on that. The motion is to divide the question to the 2 resolutions. So it's been moved, seconded. We've discussed. All those in favor of dividing the motion, please say aye.
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 Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Are there any members who oppose dividing the question? Please state your name for the record now. Are there any members who oppose dividing the question? Please state your name for the record now. I hear none. Are there any members who wish to abstain from the motion to divide the question? Please state your name for the record. Are there any members who wish to abstain from the vote? Please state your name for the record now. Hearing none in opposition and no abstentions, the motion carries. The question is divided. We are going to be considering 2 resolutions. We're going to consider Katie O'Souls first, and then we're going to go to Guy Nomaya. So we have a motion on the floor. I'm sorry?
Motion to approve the first one. Katie O'Neill, is that what you said?
It's divided. We already, it's 2
Great.
questions. We're moving to it.
Voting.
Oh, well, actually, now, first one, are there any questions with regards to Katie O'Souls? Raise your hand now. We're going to take a speakers list. Is there anybody who has a question about Katie O'Souls?
Can we get a little bit more clarification on Katie O'Soul, please?
Hi, this is Warren. I can answer that. Katie O'Soul was previously approved for a wine and beer license. I'm assuming that the change is the full license. Katie O'Soul is about a block from where I live, and I have never heard personally, nor by way of the board, received any complaints. Thank you.
Okay. Questions for Katie O'Soul. Rashid, I see your name. Is that for this one? Do you have a question for this?
Yes, I just want to clarify. This is for a new, they weren't previously approved for a wide. This is for a new full permit. And just to also, the young lady who is the owner of Katie O'Soul, she's a member of the community. She went to PS 92. She has a long history of providing being an entrepreneur in the community, and it was unanimously voted on by the Public Safety Committee for her to get the full license. So this is a new, it's not that she had one before. She closed down due to COVID and renovated the establishment, and now it's going to be reopening, and also wanted to provide for with the full with one of the full liquor license to do that as well.
Okay, thank you for that information. All right, so you are the last one in terms of that. So we're going to call the question now. So with respect to the application for KDO Soul Food, all those members in favor of approval, please say aye.
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 Are there any members of the board who wish to vote against the motion at this time? Please state your name for the record. Are there any members of the board who wish to vote against the motion? Please state your name for the record at this time. I hear none in opposition. Are there any members of the board who wish to abstain from the vote at this time? Please state your name for the record. Call again. Are there any members of the board who wish to abstain from the vote to approve this application? Please state your name for the record. Hearing none, the motion carries. Madam Secretary, please record a yes vote for the members of the board present. All right, we are now going on to the application for Gaia Namaya for the change in method of operation to include patron dancing and employee dancing. I will take a speakers list right now. Please raise your hand if you wish to speak regarding the motion. Rashida, I see your hand up for this one as well.
Yes.
Okay, hold on let me get the speakers list, and when I close it, we're closed. Rashida, I see you. Rabbi Berman, I see you as well.
Kyrie Elaney.
Okay, I see member Aline.
He withdrew his hand.
No.
No.
I
We're taking off. Hold on.
withdrew it
Hold on.
because
Before we start speaking, let me make sure we get the list.
Yeah.
Are there any members of the board who wish to speak? Okay, Kyrie, I see your hand up again. Okay, I'm going to put you down on the list.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Are there any other members who wish to speak with regards to this motion?
Suki, raised her hand.
Suki.
Yes, I see Suki. Are
I
there
just
any other
need
members who wish to speak
clarification.
regarding?
In order for me to speak on this, I need to have clarification on what I'm speaking on, that's all.
Okay, if you have a question regarding that, I'll put you on the speakers list if you want. Robertson, I'm adding Felice Robertson.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, got her. Are there any other members of the board who wish to speak with regards to this motion? Dante, do you see any other hands?
So we got
Oh,
persons.
you got Suki, correct?
Yep,
Yes,
I got it. So
yes.
I have Rashida, I have Rabbi Berman, I have Kyrie Aline, I have Suki Chung, I have Felice Robertson.
All right, that's all I
Okay,
see.
that is the list. We are closing on that. Once we have closed the list, we will go to the vote. All right, Rashida, go ahead. You have the floor. Rashida, you there?
Rashida, you're muted.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. First of all, thank the owners of Gaia Namada for coming today. And I also want to thank all of the tenants that also came today. As you guys have heard previously, the Public Safety Committee, this has been before us for several months. We've had very heated and passionate discussions. So I'm glad that it's before the full board. And I'm just going to take some notes. So first of all, just to clarify, they are requested an amendment. They want to amend their application to include dancing by servers and also dancing by patrons. So they're not asking for a renewal of the liquor license or any amendment to the liquor license per se for drinks, but for the dancing. One of the things I also wanted to reiterate was that I had the opportunity to re-review the initial application that they submitted to the board when we initially granted the support for their liquor license and the type of business that they wanted to have for the community. And of course, as the owner had stated, they have health food. It's, there's yoga, there's different type of amenities that, yes, are very welcome in the community. But it has come that they also included music, which also was a part of the application. But as you can hear from the tenants, there has been a lot of noise issues. There have been complaints on quality of life for a residential building, even though it's mixed use. at the bottom floor, there are many residential occupants of this particular development. I personally passed by the establishment. I wanted to see physically where it was located. I wanted to see exactly what the tenants were complaining about, where the locations, where the entrances were. It's across from, if you are familiar with Brooklyn Commons over in that area, kind of where the gas station is, on the intersection of Flatbush and Lincoln Lefferts, just to give you a kind of an idea of the location. I personally think that they are still in an ongoing process to remedy the issue with the tenants. So it's a little bit premature to actually ask for now the community board's support for dancing by both servers and by patrons. This is now, to me, as one of the actual speakers earlier had stated, now becoming more of a nightclub and a dance club setting. I don't think that they have fully addressed all of the issues. Yes, they have done substantially from when they initially came to the Public Safety Committee, but currently I don't think it has been addressed satisfactory. And I don't think at this time to put on an additional layer of dancing by patrons, dancing by servers, in essence becoming a nightclub, would be beneficial to the community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashida. Rabbi Berman. Yaakov, you there?
I am here. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Vice. I too have spent about 6 months addressing this issue, and I disagree with Rashida, and I'll tell you why. To me, always the basic question was, are they within the legal limit, or are they above the legal limit? Are they following the law, or are they not following the law? When they came before us, the city came down, they checked the sound multiple times. They put in between $30,000 and $50,000. The city came down again and checked, and there were legal limits. I went with Dante down to the establishment, and the sound engineer explained to us how they have a safety in place that will prevent them from going above the legal limits. Since this work was done, they will come down, and they've never been cited for going above the legal limit. Now, let's be honest. You're allowed to dance. You're not allowed to dance. They don't even have to come before. The truth is, they don't have to come before us to make this request. They can go straight to the state, but they chose to. And people dance anyway in the establishment. They're trying to do.
Rabbi Berman, your audio cut out.
Rabbi, it's hard to hear you.
He froze.
He's still talking though, so he doesn't realize.
We can't hear you. How do we tell him?
Yeah, Rabbi Berman, you're frozen. We can't hear you.
That good behavior has to be rewarded. And I think that's why I support this motion.
He's moving around. That's why.
Can you hear me?
Unfortunately, your audio had cut out, so we missed a chunk of that. But
I don't know what you missed.
we got you back when you said, and you support this. So there was about a good minute gap.
So I apologize. I'm astounded. This establishment, when they came before us, the real key question was and is, are they above the legal limits or are they below the legal limits? When we started off the process, they were above. Now the city came down on more than one occasion, or at least on one occasion that I know of, but I know between NYPD and the environmental, whoever tests the sound, they were below the legal limits. Now, Dante and myself went down to the establishment, and they have a sound tester on it that will help keep the sound below the legal limit. So from my perspective, when a establishment comes before a committee and they're doing everything wrong, and they put in the $30,000, $50,000 to do everything right, and part of the process of correcting what was wrong is getting this dance permit. You know, people dance in bars all the time. very rarely is it enforced. This is not about getting permission to dance. Everybody dances. When there's music, people dance. It's about doing it right and correcting and making sure everything's on the up and up. And from my perspective, if an establishment puts in between $30,000 and $50,000 to make it right and goes through the process of correcting it and fixing it, and we vote it down, we send a bad message. From my perspective, good behavior should be rewarded, and we should support it and not reject it.
Thank you, Rabbi Berman.
Thank you.
Member Kyrie Aline, you have the floor.
Hello, I just wanted to say thank you to Guy Nemaya. I know that you all have been talking with Yaakov, Rashida, myself, and other members of the Public Safety Committee for a while now. I believe I'm more along the side of agreeing with Rashida in the sense of when I go on Guy Nemaya's website, and I actually have walked by and visited there as well, you promote wellness and or something interactive, some social piece, right? There's spa experiences offered there, Reiki, massages, couple massages. I mean, there's a slew of different services that you do offer. And to myself, I'm thinking, and I looked at your schedule, you offer these services, the massage services and the Reiki, and for peace and calmness and for wellness and for health during the daytimes for your patrons. However, in the night times, there have been so much complaining that tenants cannot sleep. We just had another woman who's come on before, and she was positioned right. Her apartment was right above where everything was. I personally do not believe that everything has been rectified. You all applied for a restaurant, then you all are a spa, and I do believe by going outside of the initial scope of the liquor license and the application to now allow your servers to be dancers and for the patrons to be dancers, this is a nightclub. So are we going to have Guy Nemaya nightclub, restaurant, massage and Reiki, couples massages? I just don't know. So I would say that I am not for pushing this forward until the tenants who have invested more than $30,000 or maybe their last $10,000 a year to live there are comfortable. And that's what I think we're supposed to do for the community, is make sure the tenants in the community is comfortable. Not necessarily a business who can afford to spend $30,000 or $50,000 because they have so many services as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aline. Suki.
I was really surprised to hear from some of the tenants that the restaurant closes at 4 a.m. because that's already the morning. That's not really a closing time at all. And I'm just wondering if that was the closing time that was approved in the initial application by the SLA.
Yes, it was for Friday and Saturday nights. We've always applied for 4 a.m. and we made that clear. We also made it clear we were going to have live music and DJs on our application. It was never a secret. At entertainment level, actually, as well.
Okay, thank you.
We
Ms.
want to
Robertson.
have live shows and art performances and all types of cultural events. Or actually, if you look at our scheduling, we have cultures from all over the world and all over Brooklyn. And there's really nothing like that in the neighborhood. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Just my opinion, but we'll keep going. Sorry, one sec.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Robertson, and we close on you.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. But any kind of establishment, which I welcome, the variety of which this establishment holds, we do have to consider the people that are living there. And we have to have some sort of compromise where everyone is comfortable, especially the tenants. They do need a peaceful place to rest their head where they pay rent. But thank you for that clarification.
Thank you very much. We've exhausted our speakers list. So at this time, we are going to call the question. All those members of CB9 who are in favor of approving the recommendation of the committee to approve the change of method of operation, please say aye.
Aye.
Yes, Steve, sorry. The chairman, we did not, the committee didn't approve it. We never approved it, just to clarify what you just mentioned. The Public Safety Committee didn't approve the, we didn't have quorum, so we didn't approve anything.
Hi, this is
What was the
Warren. I move to table this until the Public Safety Committee approves or disapproves.
I second
Okay.
it.
that.
I
All
second
right,
it.
I have a motion to table by Warren Burke. And who was the second?
Felice Robertson, second that.
Second by Felice Robertson. All right, any discussion?
I just listen. I hear the concern, and I want to reiterate that if they're within the legal limits, by rejecting it and tabling it and making them come back for another 6 months, I think you're going to take away some of the motivation from the store to really go above and beyond. And I think it's a mistake. And I think good behavior has to be rewarded. And like I said, the city has been to the establishment, and they have not found that they're above the legal limit. A sound engineer has communicated that there's a security in place that they cannot go above the legal limit. And we're basically making the establishment come back and come back and come back like we did for the last 6 months. We want to go with that route because a neighbor is complaining about the noise. If the neighbor's complaining about the noise, they should call 311. The city will come down. And if they're above the legal limit and they're not following the law, then there should be consequences. But if they're within the legal limits, then they're following the law, and they should be. We should allow them to correct whatever they have to correct and operate in a legal manner.
Hi, this is Warren.
Can I just say one thing really quickly?
We're taking the speakers list. 1 second, Warren, I'll give you a second.
Put me on the list.
Warren, say again? Yeah, I'm putting you right now.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I mean, I don't disagree
hold on.
with Yaakov, and I don't have.
And it's
Let
not
me
your.
get a speaker list. Warren, let me get the
I
speakers
thought I
list.
was on the list.
I got to get the speakers list first. Let me get it. We are going to close it, and you will be given.
Fred, take your time.
Thank you very much. So Warren, I see you. Ms. Moses, I see you. Augustine Blackwell, I see you. Carmen, I see you. Debbie Timothy, I see you. Rashida, I thought I saw Rashida. Hold on. Debbie Timothy, I see. Okay, Michael Liebert, I see you. Kyrie Aline, I see you. Hold on. And Tessa Hackett Vieira. And we are going to close on Tessa. I say again, we are going to close on Tessa. Once Tessa has given her commentary, we are closing and we are going to vote. All right. Go ahead, Warren.
Hi. Look, I don't disagree with whether this should be a approved or not approved, but what I don't agree with is process. And if the committee did not vote on it, it should not be coming before this meeting. And that was my purpose of tabling it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Warren. Ms. Moses.
I think we should take a vote because at the end of the day, the committee may never meet. If they don't want to come forward, it could always be 2 people. So my point is I heard what was said, and I think we need to vote on what was done and what was said.
Can I make one final comment before the vote?
I'm sorry, who was that? That was?
Andrew Golden from Gaia Nomaya.
Very quickly. Okay, I'll let you give a comment before the
Yeah,
vote.
I'll be super fast.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Blackwell.
I want to say, good evening, everybody. The community board is actually for the community, which does include businesses as well as residents who live there. Yaakov, no offense, you seem to be solely promoting the business, but the residents who live there pay taxes and vote just like everybody else. And when you can't sleep where you live because of noise and you got to get up and go to work, it becomes a serious life-threatening issue. I've lived it. Not nice, not cute. There is a place and time for everything. a residential area, a residential building where people have to get up and go to work. They need their sleep when they need their sleep. If 4 o'clock in the morning you're closing and I got to work on a Saturday or Sunday, and for the past 2 years I'm working 7 days a week, that's not going to work. You're affecting my way of life, my finances, my health, and everything else. So we really got to look at the community. If it's just one, the one that's right above your apartment, that's enough to stop and really take notice. I just wanted to make that statement. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Blackwood. Carmen Martinez.
Yeah, I just want to say that from what I
You sound a
remember,
little low, Carmen.
huh?
You sound a little low.
I sound low?
That's a
Okay.
little bit better. There you
From
go.
what I remember and from what I understand for the process for SLA applications, community input is one of the requirements to review those applications. They are required to notify the community. Sometimes they get petitioned against or for. The board is required to also make public the fact that these licenses are being reviewed. So therefore, to totally ignore any complaint, be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is totally unacceptable. If you have constituent comment, and there has been plenty of instances where constituent complaint, I can't remember the name of the establishment, but there was one on Rogers Avenue, and the place, I mean, it was a year-long fight with the business. But other than that, I just want to say that it's not fair for applicants to be asked to keep coming back to committee meetings when committee members don't show up, and therefore there's never a quorum guaranteed. And because the board has the ultimate vote, we should just go ahead and proceed with a roll call, get a vote on this item, let the applicant go away with either a yes or a no, but not require them to keep coming back and praying that there's a quorum at the next meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Martinez. Ms. Timothy.
Hey, I just want to piggyback on comment. I mean, I don't understand why it got to this point. If there's a quality of life issue, I mean, that needs to be addressed. And if it's not being addressed, I mean, we just need to call the vote. And it's yay or nay.
Okay. All right. Michael, I had you from before. Did you want to speak, or you're good?
Comment's already been made by somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
All right,
Suki, you forgot her?
her hand wasn't up.
I'm slated to speak. I'm slated to speak. If everyone else has already gone.
And as in
It's Suki and Kyrie. I'm not Kyrie. Miss Tessa and Kyrie have to go now.
Yes, so that's what I have. So go ahead, Mr. Lane.
Fred, if you give me 10, I just want to say that I take offense by anybody who says that I took one side over the other. I've volunteered between 20 and 40 hours going to the establishment, speaking to tenants at 12 o'clock at night, at 10 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock in the morning, trying to make it work, trying to renegotiate apartments. Don't accuse me of taking one side. There's a record, there's a video. I was very hard on Andrew. I came to shop multiple times. I put in NYPD. I sent NYPD to the shop. Do not accuse me of taking one side. I take offense, and I don't volunteer on this board to be accused of being a sellout.
The only question in front of us right now is whether the board wants. Understood.
And whoever made those accusations, you're welcome to call me tomorrow and apologize.
The only question we have in front of us is if we're tabling this conversation. Okay, so Mr. O'Lean, go ahead.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chair. So I would like to actually speak up. Again, everyone has said their piece in terms of how we should move on this matter. I would like to echo the sentiments that we are members volunteering our time, everyone here, and this is for the community, a community I was actually born and raised in 31 years ago, and I'm so happy to be here for that. And with that being said, We are supposed to be for the people, for the tenants, not the businesses and establishments who can afford to, charge, $500 for a massage, a massage treatment. But then at 4 a.m, the people who are paying the rent to live there cannot even wake up, or they're being woken up out of sleep. And as far as to just respond really quickly in closing in summation to you, Yakov Berman. I believe the person only echoed what you said initially. I personally have seen how much you have worked and you have allowed everyone to speak their side, from Andrew and also the many tenants that have come and sat there on our calls. And I don't believe that no one was accusing you of anything. They were simply just regurgitating your stance tonight, which seemed like you were just favoring the establishment and just mentioning their hard work and the money that they've spent, and about it being legal limits. And you were just not addressing what we all do and what you do every day, which are the voice of the tenants. So I think that's
Oh, is it within the legal limit or not the legal limit? That's the only question. Are they following the law or are they not following the law?
No, we are back to order. We are
Thank you.
discussing this.
I'm
The
done.
last comment will be from Ms. Hackett Vieira, and we are going to vote. We call the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a member of the Public Service, the Public Service Committee. And so we have invited tenants and the business, to the meetings. We've listened to both sides. We've encouraged the business to rectify the noise issue, which is what the tenants were complaining about. They were complaining about noise. Some of them came tonight and said it's better, it's improved. One other person still has a problem because her apartment is directly above the establishment. So it's not completely resolved as far as she's concerned. The business has indicated that they're willing to continue to work to see if they can get to a 0.0 noise position for her as the only person that still might be significantly affected. And so it's not the position of this board to take one side or the other. It's the position of the board to do what's best for the community residents. That includes the tenants as well as includes the business. And if the business didn't turn a deaf ear to the complaints of the tenants, and they've worked to rectify what was a noise problem, both with city entities, NYPD and others, in conjunction with the Public Safety Committee. And we're at a place where, and it's unfortunate we didn't have quorum, which is why we didn't vote on this. If we're at a place now where a significant amount of correction has been made, with the exception of the apartment directly above the establishment, then I agree with Carmen. Let's vote. Let's vote it up. Let's vote it down. But it really is not fair to the business or tenants to continue to ask them to come back and come back and come back. The track record for CB9 on this is very, very poor. Let's vote.
Sorry, I was promised just the final comment before the vote.
Go ahead, Mr. Golden. You can have your comment, and then we're going to vote.
Yes, I'll be really quick. So the residential building that we're in, it actually has 250 apartments. As you mentioned, that we want to help the tenants and listen and take care of the tenants. In the beginning, months ago, there was about 6 or 7 apartments that complained. Since then, we've done everything we can to fix the situation and narrow it down to one single person who, at this point, we're confident we can still fix that situation with them. But you also mentioned the rest of the community. We've had hundreds of artists, of musicians, of staff, employees, different people that we've employed, that we've given jobs to, that we've hired, that we continue to hire, that all actually live in the neighborhood. I can get a petition, and I've already had one with those people. I've had other meetings where I've brought various people from the neighborhood, the local schools, all the different people that we've supported and given a space to, that you failed to mention, that we're also giving money to. And then on the other hand, you mentioned the $500 massages. For us, We charge $160 and we're barely surviving. I can show you, I have 3 massages booked in the last month. Music, art, culture, that's what brings the people into our space. That's the only way we'll be able to support these artists, support our employees, support us, our family, everything. And it's not just us, we have other people involved as well. And yes, so it's when you mention it's the whole building and it's actually only one person and you're affecting a ton of other artists and musicians and employees that work really hard and that really care about the space. And a lot of people that do yoga every day that get wellness for their lives. That's a free service we give. We can't survive on just the yoga. We would be gone if it was just yoga and a massage. So you need to understand that as well. It's a lot of people you're affecting in the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, we've gone through the speakers list for the board. We are now going to call the question. All those members of the board in favor of the motion to table, please say aye. I call again. All those members of the board in favor of the motion to table, please say aye. All those members of the board opposed to the motion to table, please say aye. Please say aye.
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 I hear none in favor. I hear a number of people opposed to the motion. Is there anyone who, any members of the board who wish to abstain from the motion to table?
Well, I'm not going to abstain only because.
Madam Secretary, please record the chair as abstaining from the motion. Are there what other members? Please state your name for the so the recording secretary can get your name. Those who wish to abstain, please state your name. Felice, are you abstaining? Okay. Are there any members of the board who wish to abstain?
Evelyn Williams.
Okay. Please record Ms. Williams as abstaining. Okay, with that, the motion fails. We are back to the original motion to approve the application. We had already gone through and exhausted the speakers list. At this time, we are calling the question. All those in favor of the motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
No.
Okay, all those members who are opposed to the motion, please state your name for the record.
Rashida Sadiq, oppose.
Augustine Blackwell, opposed.
Kyrie
Hold on, make sure that the recording secretary can get you. When she says got you, then the next person go.
Okay, I've got Rashida, I've got, let me make sure I'm on. Yes, I've got Rashida, I've got Miss Blackwell, I've got Kyrie.
Carmen Martinez, opposed.
I've got Carmen.
Janella Roan Perry, opposed.
I've got Miss Rom Carroll. Okay, got you.
Is there anyone else opposed to the motion? Please state your name for the record.
Got 5 people.
Opposed.
Someone else.
Anyone wish to, anyone else? Okay, all those members who wish to abstain from the motion.
Did you get
Please
Suki
note
for
that-
oppose?
No, she didn't call her name.
Yes, she.
What point of order? We should just do a roll call.
Yes, because you're.
I was getting ready to say roll call.
Yes, I was
roll call.
ready for you.
We've already got all those.
Yeah, we have
Listen,
6
it's
people
almost
for
to the point where we've only got 5 in opposition. All we need is the abstentions at this time.
No, it's
All
not
we need is
correct.
a-
We
Six
need a
and
roll call.
The people opposed have stated their name for the record.
Right, and I can
Suki
call
didn't
them
state
back.
her name.
Right.
Well, ask Suki. Suki can speak for herself. Is she opposed? Then add her to the
Yes,
list.
I'm
Order
opposed.
of the day.
So
got
put
you,
Suki
Suki.
down. So
I
that
got her
makes it
down.
Order of the day. Order of the day. Please put
All of it,
put
all of it,
put
all of it.
Suki Changa down as opposed.
I've got
Okay.
Suki. Okay, hold on. Let me read it back who I've got so we're on the safe side. Rashida, Miss Blackwell, Kyrie, Miss Carmen, Miss Ron Perry, and Suki. 6 people.
6 members opposed. Are there any members who
Alexa
wish to?
Francesca Leopold.
Opposed? Okay, fine. 7 people.
Are there any members who wish to abstain at this time? Please record the chair as abstaining.
Warren Burke abstained.
Okay, Warren, 1.
Evelyn Williams abstain.
Yes, you did say that. I've got you.
And I will say Nicholas Almona voting in favor. I just moved away for a moment.
Mr. Almanar, repeat which side you're on.
Vote in favor. He said he's voting in favor.
In favor.
Okay, good. All right, we didn't get there yet.
Okay. Are there any other members of the board who wish to abstain at this time? So, Madam Secretary, I believe we had 6 in opposition. Is that correct?
7, we add Francisco. 2
7 in
abstain.
opposition.
Yeah, 2 abstain.
Okay.
So, pardon me?
How many abstained?
2.
I
Warren
thought I heard
and
3.
Warren and Miss Williams. Anybody else
I
before
said
we?
myself. I said put the chair down as abstaining.
Oh, the chair. Sorry. So there's 3.
Okay. So that's
Right,
7 negative votes, 3 abstentions.
Right. Yes. And
Okay.
out of 29 people who were present, let's say yes.
Okay. So please, please record those other members of the board as voting in favor. So I hear a majority. The motion carries. The
That's
application is
19 people, sir.
Thank you.
yes.
Was
Was
that?
And are all 19
No.
people still here?
I'm going to Brooklyn. Brooklyn where?
All right.
Town Heights?
Good. Good. All right.
Stop it.
770 Eastern Parkway.
Mute your phone.
Please mute your phone.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
There was an interesting question.
We're almost done. We're almost done.
Okay,
We're almost
Mr.
done.
Chair, I have a question.
Yeah.
I am not sure 19 people said they were in favor.
I agree.
That's true.
I agree.
Then look at who's here.
That's why I said call the roll, because they wasn't.
Roll call vote. Go for roll
Order
call
of the day.
vote.
Order of the day. Order of the day.
Hold a bit. Okay, when we opened, we had 43 people. At present, we've got 33 board members. But actually, hold a bit. Let me take out.
Oh, come on, y'all. Stop it.
Respectfully,
Yes.
may I just call the roll?
Okay, we've got 30 persons votable, right? So I think we better call the roll because I want this correct.
This is wasting time.
Yes.
It's addition by subtraction. It's not wasting time.
No, it's not waste of time, but
Yeah, wasting time in the sense that certain members that are being accounted for in the 19 are not present.
Not all 30 panelists are board members. You got staff, you
Right.
got the presenters. There's
Okay.
Yes.
The secretary is going to call the roll. Everyone,
I'm going to call
listen
the
for your
roll
name.
because I would have to find out who left already. So let me call the roll.
Right.
And who, as I call your name, you say yes or no. 1 minute. Kyrie Ali,
No.
I'm doing it on Excel so I get my numbers correct. Kyrie Ali,
No.
no. Nicholas Alamar, sorry,
Favor.
Almanar. Favor.
Yes.
Right, yes. Mr. Balberg, not here. Fred Baptiste,
Abstaining.
okay, that's Fred, abstain. Got you. Naomi Baptiste, she's not here. Naomi Baptiste. Okay, she's not here.
Parker is absent. Parker is absent for the
All right,
vote.
so she's absent for the vote. John Beckles, he's not here. He was always absent. Yakov Berman,
Yes.
right? Warren,
Abstain.
got you. Miss Blackwell, Miss Blackwell,
No.
got you. Suki Chang,
No.
Got you. Miss Dozier, Miss Berlin Dozier. I don't think she was here at the beginning. Miss Rosemary
Yes.
Everett. Yeah, she was
Yes,
here.
Berlin is here.
And what's
I'm
her vote?
here.
And what your vote?
Oh, I'm voting for the, oh, no, abstain.
Okay, got you.
Mm.
Sorry, I missed her. Rosemary Everett. She was not here. Tessa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Bishop Gonzalez?
Yes.
Got it. Sloman? Hat?
Yes.
Got you. Primo was never here. Maya Legute?
Lina, yes.
Got you. Francisco?
No.
Got you too. Melanie Lewis?
Yes.
Got you. Matthias?
Yes.
Got you. Christian? He's gone. Margolin was not here. Carmen?
No.
Carmen? Got you.
No.
Got you. Viva Morgan? Miss Moses?
Yes.
Got you. Miss Newsom? Oh, she's not here. Miss Yankee Pearson? Raul?
Yes. Hello?
Yankee, I got your yes, right?
Yes.
Good. Mr. Burt, Pears Booms?
Real peer booms.
Real Pear Booms. Is he gone? You see, I'm not looking at the stage because I'm looking at the names now, so I can't see.
Yes, he's gone.
Okay, good. Miss Rome Perry?
No.
Not you. Dexter Roberts? Dr. Roberts?
I abstain.
Got you too. Felice Robertson?
Abstain.
Got you. Rollison Blackie? She wasn't here. Melissa Sevier?
She's absent.
Okay. Rashida Sadiq?
No.
Got you. Rashida Skives was not here from the beginning. Rabbi Sperling. Debbie Timothy?
Yes.
Got you. Myself, yes. Miss Williams?
Abstain.
Got you. Miss Mosley was not here, and Miss Cheryl was not here. Well, 1 minute, I'll give you the vote.
Hey,
Vote
Michael
in
Liburd, yes. You skipped me again.
Okay. I'm sorry. I gotta add you on.
Add him on,
Nope.
please.
Yes, I'm doing
Yeah.
it because he was on the attendance. Mr. Liburd? Mr. Liburd?
Yes.
Mr. Liburd?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got you. Got
yes.
you. Got you.
Ridiculous.
Final vote. 13 for. 13 for. 7 against. 6 abstain. You see him?
That's not a quorum.
No, we have quorum, but it's not a majority vote.
It's not majority, but you got 20.
Not a majority. Yeah, it's not a majority vote. 13 in favor,
Explain
7
what
noes.
abstentions mean, please, Mr. Chair.
Sorry, repeat that?
Please explain what the abstentions mean for the group.
Abstentions means you're voting neither for nor against. But what happens is it also prevents the majority vote. So you need 50% plus 1. So currently we have 26 members online. If 13 voted, you need 14 to pass.
Please, someone vote.
The abstention and the no combined.
Exactly. Abstentions and noes equal 13, so there is not a majority. So the motion, the motion fails.
Okay.
Okay. We are now going to move on.
Maybe we should ask the abstentions if they want to change their vote.
What does that mean? I've been trying to do this for 6 months. Is there any way we can ask them if one person maybe has a change of heart to vote?
Well,
Any members of the board who wish to vote, or change their vote at this time?
Well, so I have a question, Mr. Andrew.
Is that even heard of?
No. We're not going to go back into conversation. Is there a member of the vote, member who wishes to change their vote at this time?
I'm so tired.
Christ's sake.
None, the
Good
motion
night,
fails.
everybody.
Mr. Gold, hold on, we got some business we got to finish. Do not drop off. We've got business to finish. We will be done
No.
shortly.
Oh, other people dropped off. I'm done. It's about 11 o'clock.
We've got to finish. Hold on, almost done here.
Miss you.
All right, we have no other old business. New business, very quickly, 3 minutes and we should be done. Any new business for the board? Warren, do you have new business?
Yes, I do. I just want to make a comment that I'm really disappointed that we haven't heard from our actual elected officials. In terms of the borough president, I really don't know who this guy is, and I'd like to know more. So that's just for the record. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, is there any other new business for the board? Okay, hearing none, we've completed the agenda. We reached the end of the agenda for the evening. I want to thank all the board members and the community members who have been here, who participated in this meeting this evening. Mr. Golden, I would probably recommend contact the board office later on, and we'll see if we can discuss if there's any other options after this or what you have.
Thank you, Fred.
Okay, but again, I want to thank everyone for this evening. At this time, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Wilson, second the motion to adjourn.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Here, majority, and adjourn. Madam Secretary, the time is now 10:40 p.m.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night.
Have a great night.
Thank you very much.
Good night.